thing is going down. Let's talk Chiefs.
Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Queen of Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to win him early, hear the truth. Tune in every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chiefs podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Cris out here rapping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Hope everybody's having a good day. It's Monday. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got a lot of things to discuss. Before I do all that, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. Ready to get into this off-season talk.
So, Clarence, you doing this Batman thing when you hiding your face or something?
No, you gonna make me cuss your ass out already, Cris.
What? You would hide?
Can I partake of my weed in peace, nigga?
Oh, well, see, you didn't say all that. You should have just said I was partaking in something. I would have knew what it was, man.
Weed, nigga. From the ground.
Well, go ahead and do your thing, player. Well, anyway, hope everybody's having a good day today. We got a lot to discuss. You know, we've been putting it out there. Me and Clarence had a huge announcement. You know what I'm saying? We've been, just talking to this podcast network that's hit us up. They liked our product. And so we went ahead and signed a 1-year contract with the Pigskin Podcast Network. Shout out to Kyle.
Yeah, already fucking up their names.
Shout out to Kyle. Reaching out to us.
Don't for fucking the name up, man.
No, I'm not. No, that's
Joe
country.
Burrow.
That's country known for fucking up names.
Buckner.
Kyles. Butner.
But Kyle, anyway, don't fuck up the damn announcement, nigga.
You continue. Shit.
But we signed a 1-year contract with the Pigskin Podcast Network, and through them, we have a sponsorship with DraftKings. So, clap it up.
Yeah, DraftKings.
We got that shit.
You don't know where to go for your bets? Go to DraftKings.
Go to DraftKings, baby. And
lose
right
all
now,
your money with DraftKings.
We still working out the particulars, but we did sign the 1-year deal. We will be on their website real soon, and probably the next episode we'll have all the DraftKings stuff and their logo on the side.
Hey Joe.
Stuff. So I see Joe in here bright and early. I hope you got your coffee.
He's on time today.
Hope you got your coffee and your breakfast burrito, homie. Because we're going to get into you, sir.
Cavassier.
He's on time.
So, but, yeah, that was the huge news. So, shout out to everybody who helped make this possible. Shout out to Ty and Mark for coming through on Mondays, helping us out, bringing us great Chiefs content. Shout out to Joe, always in the comment section, you know what I'm saying, giving us his horrible running back takes. You know what I'm saying? Driving up Francis' blood pressure with his horrible takes with running backs. You know what I'm saying?
No, Joe ain't the ops. The ops is the dude that y'all know from Cincy.
The dude that deleted his
I
account.
ain't say Joe was the ops. I just say he had the horrible running back takes.
Yeah, Clarence out there trying to take on Bengals Nation by himself. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I mean, I got to. Ain't nobody else gonna ride with me.
Hey, I was riding with you, Clarence.
Because they're irrelevant. Because they are irrelevant.
Sure.
Who is them?
Sure.
Who's that? Who is it?
He don't even exist anymore.
The dude is a one-hit wonder.
Twitterverse.
That's what he was. He's
got him up out of there. Got him up out of there.
Kilo, one-hit wonder.
Got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? He needs to stay irrelevant.
He is a
Acting
one.
like he all of Bengals Nation. And then be having them old whack ass little followers is stand up dick riding for him. We got 15 followers want to talk that big gas shit. Like,
He got into
bro,
you.
we do grown man shit up over here. Like, it's nothing.
He got
You can
into
pull
you.
up. He didn't get into me. I was about to get into him. But I digress.
He told you.
Yeah, while you was just standing there watching with your whack ass. You could have jumped in and said something. Your whack ass ain't say nothing.
Yeah, I thought
You
had
whack.
it.
You
Look,
whack.
Look,
I did have it.
look,
I did have it. I
Look.
had that shit. I ain't
Champ-
have that shit.
champions don't need to handle anything. That's the bottom line. We at the top. We don't talk. We don't have a reason to.
Why are you conversing with these fools?
See the ring. That's all it is. See the ring.
Y'all remember when they was chirping all of that 3 year or three wins straight in the years
It
calendar, and
it don't
nobody could
matter.
say nothing. Oh,
It
it
don't
meant
matter.
a lot. It meant a lot. As soon as that clock hit 0 and we was world champs, the clock was on their ass. Like
Yeah.
talk all that dumb shit.
The
I
biggest
mean, they in their spaces, they sending out tweets. They just hella disrespectful, and they need to just shut the fuck up. So
Now,
sometimes you got to remind them to shut the fuck up.
the biggest issue I had with
Shit.
that whole
Fuck
thing.
them.
Now hear me out though,
Oh,
cuz
God.
I was reading through
What
I was
is they
reading through the
talking
whole
about?
thing. You know, I was reading through some of the comments, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's cute, the little clever 8 Mile thing, whatever. I'm like, whatever. But you know, that was going on talking about the Chiefs beating the Bengals was their Super Bowl. No, here's the difference. Whoever
We
made
won
that
the
comment,
Super Bowl.
I wish I remember the name of who said that. He said them beating it. I said no. The difference is that the Chiefs went on to the next round and won the thing. Cincinnati beating the Chiefs last year in the AFC Championship. That was y'all Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't give me that crap or send me that energy or send the energy this way talking about that was their Super Bowl. The difference is that we got something outside of a Super Bowl patch to show for it. Ring them, call, and that's the bottom line. You can't argue that. So I don't want to hear that argument either. Talking about that was their Super Bowl. No, there's a huge difference.
And that's why I had to get them because you know you got your whack ass players that's calling it Burrowhead and all of this. Like they just stay on some hella disrespectful shit. You know what I'm saying? You finally got you a franchise guy at quarterback. But y'all can't block up nothing. Y'all can't block nothing up front.
So can we call Cincinnati the ringless pit then? Is that the new thing to say? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Basically, they whack, bro. They straight whack. And every chance I get, I'm gonna remind them that they ain't shit. Every chance I get, dog, because I sat there and they was talking big cash money shit, and I couldn't say nothing. Just tip my hat to them.
From last year on,
yeah, I mean they was just talking big shit. What Kansas City Chiefs fans got to say now? We done spacked your ass. Y'all did that. Ain't nothing I can say. Y'all did that. Congrats to y'all.
I ain't no getting smacked just by 3 points in every game.
Had to take it, dog. They beat them.
We had to eat
they
it.
beat them.
We had to eat it.
Them L's had to take it, dog. Had to take it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Had to do it with class too, and be like, y'all did that.
And we didn't delete our account, so we didn't hide from the smoke.
Nothing. Now he catching it from Ravens fans. The Ravens fans is on the same time with him. Like, how you gonna say some disrespectful shit about somebody passing and blah 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 blah, and then he want to get on some. This is supposed to be about football, guys. Like, where did it change? Like
when he changed it,
right, because he made it about me saying something, and then he brings his wife into it that he's married and all this. Like, hold on, we talking about football. We ain't talking about your sexual preference. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to go out here and kiss men in the mouth and eat your whack ass chili, then that's on you, dog. I don't care that you kiss men in the mouth. I don't. I was talking about football. Oh, you sent the music video, the little dude with the 15 followers. You sent the music video. You stupid fuck. If you would have paid attention, you would have seen it was Travis Kelce and the Chiefs. But you don't want to talk about that though.
He has 7 followers.
Stand there.
And he's talking about Arrowhead Chief podcast that.
You just want to stand there and be hot and mad and stand up for your captain. Oh, my captain. You know what I mean? Like, just cut the bullshit. Y'all niggas is whack. Y'all was in the Super Bowl and y'all got your ass kicked. And every time that the Bengals have been to the Super Bowl, they've lost. They've never won a Super Bowl.
0-3.
They've been there several times now and still can't get it done. Still. Joe Burrow got 3 weapons on the outside. It's Joe Burrow. And y'all can't block up shit. Y'all can't block worth of shit. And that's why y'all scum. It is what it is, though.
Wow. I just want to say, Clarence, I'm proud of you. You made Zim quit, man. You made him tap out. You gave him the Kurt Angle ankle lock.
I wasn't going to stop until he quit because he's a fraud. I wasn't going to stop until he quit. Mister, I know all these players. You go to these fucking meet and greets, you spending your money.
Yeah.
Like you don't have that gas like that, bro. You a fraud.
He's spending his bread to take pictures with players to flex on.
Like stop, dog. Like you're not him. You're not him. He's a fraud, dog. You need to stay off of Twitter with that bullshit.
He's on Facebook now.
Good.
No.
Go over to Facebook, IG, live your life, bro.
He is on IG.
But keep the Chiefs out your mouth. I don't care if when they play next season, shut up.
The running game is
shut up.
The running game is
You know what, Joe? We don't get into you, buddy.
Let's do it. Let's just jump in right.
Get this running game up and going.
No, hold on.
Where is it not running at, Joe?
We don't get into that.
Your math ain't mathing, dog. Oh God, Joe. You know I fuck with you heavy, Joe, but come on, bro.
Yeah,
that don't even make sense.
Yeah, this running game situation, you got to cut it out, bro.
No, give him the opportunity to explain his logic, though. You gotta let him explain that.
He's explained it on Twitter for the last.
I got a list of a long mentioned list of why he thinks we should have Bijan Robinson.
So Joe, you take Bijan early. You take him in the third. What does that say to Pop? It's my thing. Well, like what's Pacheco supposed to think and feel if they take a running back in the third round, in the fourth round?
Yeah, Bijan's a first round,
in the sixth,
in the first round guy.
So they take him with their first pick. Like, what is Pacheco supposed to think?
I mean, the only way that happened, God forbid, you hear something about an injury off the records or whatever. That'd be the only exception, but I don't see it realistically.
You know where I've been, Joe. I just want you to explain yourself, dog. You know where I've been, Joe. Quit playing with me, man. Quit playing, Joe.
It says
he's the same complimentary guy he was before.
He's not a comp.
He's not. Nope. He's number one.
He's RB1,
McKinnon's
bro.
the complimentary back.
And Andy don't get them opportunities to spend like that anyway.
And it don't matter if Prime Barry Sanders walks through those doors. Andy Reid ain't running the damn ball more than he already did this year.
Like when he did give somebody multiple.
What up?
It was Pacheco. It wasn't McKinnon. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't Ronald Jones.
Anytime a back got 17 carries, it was Pop.
Yep.
So you can't call him a complimentary piece.
And
he's RB1.
Even so, it showed. It's like I was looking at the numbers. It's like granted, he didn't even get to start like the first 7. Like he would have easily been 1,000-yard back.
Yep.
That's just from looking at the numbers to tell the tape. But you're talking about a running back or not even just a running back. You're talking about an old line that really had to change as far as understand the instincts of their running back. It's not easy to do in the middle of the season. But what they did, I thought it was cool. So I just kind of want to see how that develops. I mean, we still have a long way to go.
So Joe, is it because you want like a home run hitter like Duke get the rock in one play and just stride out for a 60-yard touchdown?
Pacheco can do that too.
Is that what you asking?
We've seen that in the divisional round.
He's got the capability. He's got to work on that finishing speed. That's the only thing I would say because a couple times he got hawked down.
the lady passed away. You need to take some pressure off Pat. Add another feared weapon would do that.
And here's my answer to this, but he wants to roll out Kennard at right tackle without even looking at any upgrades at the right tackle position. Let's protect Pat, but let's put a fifth-round right tackle that has not played a snap in the NFL out there. But he wants to protect Pat. Well, now, what sense does that make?
Well, you're talking about taking pressure off of Pat. Like, the game that he needed to pressure taken off of him was the Titans game. You feel me?
Yeah.
Was the 60 pass attempts?
Yeah. I mean, the Super Bowl was the proof actually in why they invested. I mean, we didn't see it flourish until 2 seasons later, obviously, because the Bengals had gotten away last year. But, you know, for the performance for them to get pressured and deal with as much as they had to deal with that Tampa Bay Super Bowl versus what they did. I mean, 0 sacks, that's crazy. I wasn't even expecting 0 sacks. Let's just be real. I mean, part of that we can also contribute to the field, but we're not going to get into that conversation. But, you know, this is why that you rebuilt the O-line. We're talking about, and this is the other point that I had made, like we're talking about a Bills team that had been for years trying to figure out how to figure out their running back situation, their O-line situation. Andy Reid and company did that in 1 year, realistically. And got the job done. And this is just the proof of why you protect, especially when you invest as much money in Pat Mahomes.
And we won the damn bowl with the 7th round running back.
2 rookies scored in that Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
It comes to show how they stepped up too, because Sky Moore hadn't done well. I mean, he'd done a few things here and there, but for him to score on that stage, you know, that's huge. That was huge for him.
And Pacheco was the best running back on the field in the Super Bowl.
I think what Joe is talking about, he just wants more versatility so that they can't see.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Zero in on somebody, which I get.
Right.
You feel me? But I just don't think the early rounds you go and get a back. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But I do fuck with Tank from Auburn though. Like, yeah. I think he would make a good piece if McKinnon's not coming back.
Yeah,
though.
I will agree with that.
I agree with that.
Pass catching back. Yep. I definitely agree with that.
Dude
what's the running back from Texas A&M?
Arcane. Yeah.
Arcane.
Yeah.
I like him. He'd be a good chase of pace back.
Yeah, that's if McKinnon's gone. Like, Tank would be a good option.
Yeah, because everybody keeps saying his price tag too high, which I don't see that.
I don't know if I believe that, but
no, I think he'll come back on a cheap deal. He knows where his bread and butter's at.
Yeah, and he also know where he at in his career too. So, I mean, I expect to see that's part of some of the things I was seeing as far as like the looking at the combine and also looking at some of the things that's going on free agency and stuff like that. You're starting to see some of the. I think you're gonna see a lot of the tags as far as these veteran receivers and coming down.
Hold that thought. We're gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe, look, we ain't getting no damn running back in first, second, third round. Cut the shit.
Facts.
We maybe get one in the 4th or the 5th, or maybe the 6th round. But not the top 100. All right, damn it. Cut the shit. All right.
Please. Because my mentions are getting blown up for no reason.
Cut that shit, Joe.
Cut it out.
I told you, didn't I? Didn't I tell you yesterday, Joe? I told you to cut that shit.
We got other needs. Way more pressing needs than a damn running back.
Yeah, he said we cut the shit.
Like a right tackle, a defensive end.
Needs and unknowns. You know, we still don't even know as far as they would. Right. I mean, they talking about me with Orlando Brown later on today. You know, that's a good sign. So hopefully we can get some and clear the smoke on that. That's what I want to know. Right. Just give me some. Like, have a peace of mind. Is it looking more like a franchise tag? Is it going to be more of a situation where it could be a potential trade? Because you can't rule that out.
I think the deadline for the tag is today. So if they want it, or tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So if they want to tag them, they got to make that decision within the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
What's a good deal for him that you would be satisfied with?
5 years, 110 million is probably the highest I'm looking at.
How many are you giving him a year?
let's see, you break that down. That's about 22 and a half a year, I think.
What's the value?
Tell you something, Joe. If Broderick Jones drops to 31, I want him. You gonna be mad over there?
No, I'm thinking right tackle
Why
in the
you
second
say
round.
ashy me? Why you gotta be ashy though?
Yeah, for real. Why you gotta be all that, man? What that offensive lineman do to you, man? Or Nolan Smith, the DN, is sitting there.
Ooh. But he only weighs 239, so I don't know. It's a little.
It's right up Spags Alley.
I don't give a damn.
Exactly.
He coming up there.
He's a Spags fit.
He come up.
Yeah, he is.
Coming out.
That speed is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That speed, man.
Sign me up for Nolan Smith. So.
RBJ.
I think the question I have as far as Orlando Brown is like, do we see him? I mean, yes, he is like the most prized tackle out there, but where do we see him amongst the ranks of compared to tackles?
I asked that question in the group chat. Where do you rank him? Like
that's the thing that bothers me.
Because it's Trent Williams.
Yep.
It's Trent Williams. It's Laremy Tunsil.
Yep.
Then who's after that? Because let's be honest, we don't sit around looking at who's the top left tackles in the game. We know the top few.
But we should.
We should. No, you're right. We should. But let's just be honest. We don't. We don't sit around going through everybody's team saying, "Oh, well, that dude's actually a pretty good left tackle. He's just on a bad team."
Right. There's a lot of tackles out there like that.
And we try to.
Jedrick Willis from Cleveland might be right there with Orlando Brown.
I'm trying to. I mean, the fool. But
I think Orlando's right in that Willis. Right by Willis and ranking wise.
I mean, you got to factor that and the fact that he has a ring too.
Right.
That's what makes it difficult as far as
for Orlando. You talking about that Orlando got a ring?
Because I mean, realistically, they have to play a factor into that.
0 sacks,
and that's the problem. So now Orlando can come in there with his balls hanging out and say, "Listen, y'all gonna have to pay me something." You know what I'm saying? Like.
Because
this is
I'm
the
a
problem.
Pro Bowler. I'm a Super Bowl champion.
Two-time
0 sacks in this.
Two-time Pro Bowler with the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
This two-time Pro Bowler.
And at first, I was going to hang that. I was going to hang that. You the one. It's your guys that got Pat hurt. You know, I was going to play that card. But then if you actually watch the whole play, I'm like, really, you can't because
you can't. Yeah.
Artie Key just made he did a hustle play.
That's why I kind of took it off the leash about that. And then I'm sitting there looking at the first 8-9 games, and I'm like, but then he did progress later on, and then he showed his work when it came to the playoffs. When that was the key thing for me. I said, what can this dude be the man that he's supposed to be in the playoffs? And arguably, he done that.
And in the Super Bowl, I mean, that was the guy that you traded that first round pick to go get after losing that Super Bowl with the terrible line.
And I will say this. I will also say this for Brown. This is more so on a personal note. He was able to do something. God rest in peace to his father and everything. But his pop smiling on him, proud and say for him to be able to be a Super Bowl champion. So shout out to Brown on that level. For him to be able to accomplish that. It's almost look at it as a finishing something else. Part of that legacy piece. And obviously the talk will be the talking point with Brown is taking up to the next level as far as building a Hall of Fame career. He's already done that with his Pro Bowls and whatnot, but he can continue to build that, if he wins, if he stays and gets more, which the possibility is there. Obviously, when you got playing for a guy like Pat Mahomes.
True.
And Andy Reid.
Yeah. And Andy Heck. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, look, if they
That's tough.
If they can get a good deal hashed out, that'll be ideal. I'm cool either way. If they franchise tag, I'm cool. Of course, you want to get a long-term deal because you want that first cap hit, that first number of the first
To
year
be
to
low.
go down
Yeah.
low, so you could get more room on the cap, so we could possibly go out there and sign, other guys, or give money, with Juju, see if we can give him whatever we can give him, and Gerald McKinnon, maybe they bring back Wiley. I don't know, but
The only concern I have about that is that you have your other linemen coming up, because I'm pretty sure Creed Humphrey is due after this season coming up. That's my only thing.
And Trey Smith after this season, I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah. So you want to see him get something
Yeah,
done.
Creed and Trey come up at the same time.
That's why you draft
They
the
got
right
drafted the
tackle.
same year.
That's why you draft Darnell
But you
Wright.
already got
and not like the
already got
Bengals who
names.
excited about that's why you drafted kicker. Yeah, that's why he didn't win one either. I'm done with that piece.
I mean, Niang, as far as Niang goes, here's the thing. Look, I totally get what y'all are saying, and especially I would trust him on the right side, but I am not rolling Niang out on the left side because, yeah, he played one good game against the Cincinnati pass rush. Let's call it like it is. That Cincinnati pass rush was not getting home at all in the playoffs. I mean, that Cincinnati pass rush looked relatively weak compared to other pass rushes. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just get the man a chance. We
I agree with that.
We got a sample size. You know what I'm saying? We got one sample size. We didn't really get a lot.
Yeah.
What are you over there talking? Yep, in the first. Yep.
In the first.
Darnell Wright. You get ready.
How do you know he's ashy? Maybe he's not ashy.
He might be very more.
He's not the same.
Pause. Paint. All right, let's talk about Chris Jones, man. So it's been reported that he wants to be the second highest paid defensive tackle out there, which, that's a good thing because now we know where the number is set at. You know what I'm saying? If people don't know, Aaron Donald, after he won the Super Bowl, he got a 3-year, $95 million extension. So it's going to be somewhere in 3 years, 3 to 4 years, probably 90 some million, 23 to 25 million a year. Because I think Aaron Donald's making like 31 million a year.
Yeah.
So if you give Chris Jones 25 million, you're pretty set right there to keep him, let him be a chief for the the remainder of his career and possibly retire a chief. So that's always a good thing to know what range we're working with when it comes to extending a player. It's not this cat and mouse thing where he's like, oh, well, we don't know what he wants. He's saying he wants this. The Chiefs say we want to give him that. No, the range. He's not asking to break the bank. He ain't asking to be more paid than Aaron Donald. Give me 33, 35 million. He's probably cool with 25 million a year, and let's go ahead and get this extension rolling and get this over with.
That's actually really good on so many levels because you're talking about 3 years and then you're talking about the second highest paid, and also you're looking at that defense as an entirety. Because the first thing I saw was like really a lot of your rookie deals as far as like that's the surrounding cornerback pieces and stuff like that. This dude needs some cocoa butter, my goodness. but you talk about you're gonna be. It's one of those things where you still playing on a bunch of rookie contracts as far as you're dealing with your DB, so it don't hurt you there. I'd probably say the biggest one that you're looking at would probably be, depending on what they do with Snead, and then also coming up on their tenure because not Willie Gay, but
Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton, he'll be due up for a new deal in about 2 years. So, it looks good, just for him to be able to say that. It gives you a peace of mind, stuff like that. And, hey, the chances look good as far as building that. And also, looking at your D-line, you're not sure what that's going to look like. I'd probably say you might have one more year left coming up with Frank Clark. We don't know, obviously, what's going to happen with man, I'm drawing a blank with a bunch of names. There you go.
Carlos, yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool there. That gives me a peace of mind there.
Would you bring back Dunlap?
Yeah.
I would.
Why not?
I would.
Why not?
Yeah.
and also give you another year. It's like as far as getting more pieces to develop as well too. Especially with Karlaftis, you know.
Because I expect the Chiefs to sign a veteran defensive lineman.
And Bud Dupree was released today, so that's a possibility.
Discount.
Yeah.
Veterans discount.
Fletcher Cox might be an option too, especially since he has that rapport with Andy Reid. You know.
Yeah, because Andy Reid drafted him. I mean,
yeah. So possibly Fletcher Cox. If he ain't trying to break the bank, he did it. I think he had like 11, 12 sacks last year. So he might
be out of our range.
He don't want a bag.
Yeah,
he don't want a bag.
He might be one to be like third paid.
Hargrave might want the bag, so we'll see. Hopefully, maybe we get somebody in the draft,
I think you get somebody in the draft and a veteran.
If you can keep Dunlap and Clark, it doesn't put pressure on you to try to grab one of those top guys early.
Right.
It's resign, possibly resign Colin Saunders too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna go out there and break the bank.
No,
especially with
Colin.
Yeah, I don't think.
Colin's not asking for that type of bread.
So you probably can get him on you probably can sign him on a 1 year deal, or you can get him on a 2-year cheap deal.
2 year, $9 million.
Bring him back. You know what I'm saying? Because he played really good last year. He showed up, but let's be honest, he only got the opportunity because Turk got hurt, and that's another
true.
Person. And that's another person.
And you don't know if Turk is going to turn that corner, be who he was last year, the year before that, because it could take him a full year to get his legs back under him. So you definitely bring back Colin and let Turk slowly get his legs underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
My pitch for Clark would be, hey, what better way than to be the all-time playoff sack getter?
Exactly.
You're three away.
He don't want to leave Kansas City anyway. You know what I'm saying? Frank want to stay.
He likes Andy Reid too. They're like
Frank don't want to go. So Frank is the easy piece.
I want to see him get them 3 sacks though. That's what I want to see.
It's just Orlando. I think the most difficult.
He for real. He can't play DT and DN.
Yep.
And that boy can run. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Colin got some wheels on him.
Right. I saw in the regular season. I'm like, damn, he's big for a big boy. 300 plus. You coming at him like that?
Yeah, he's running point guard. They say on the hoops team. So
he's athletic as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Looking like Raymond Felton out there.
That's one of your Knicks partners. So you talking shit about your Knicks. But you know what it is. You know what it is. Alligator on Julius Randle. Yeah, you know what it is.
9-game winning streak.
That's all right. Get to the playoffs and get smacked. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, Ty. Y'all dog shit.
Jesus.
Y'all dog shit.
Man, off a 9-game winning streak, winning without.
What you getting happy about 9 games in the regular season for? Y'all gonna get smacked. Y'all got to play Philly or Milwaukee in that first round. Y'all getting smacked.
As long as it's
grand opening, grand closing.
All right, Jay-Z. Speaking of which, we mentioned him before, L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of talks about L'Jarius Sneed, and
you got every right to hate Chiefs fans, Joe.
Should they?
Go ahead, Cris.
So there's been a lot of talk about.
He's having a Chris moment over here.
You spell that shit.
He spelled it Colin like
it's Khalen, yeah. Or Khalen.
Yeah.
Anyway. So L'Jarius Sneed, they can extend him too. You know what I'm saying? They can give him a deal, which I'm in favor for. I like L'Jarius
me too.
Sneed. I think L'Jarius Sneed He's a jack of all trades type of corner. He can cover the number one guy if you need him to be. He's good in the slot. He's our best blitzing DB. You know, he's probably the best blitzing DB in the game, not just on the Chiefs, but in the whole entire NFL. So I'm not opposed to bringing back L'Jarius or, extending L'Jarius.
Was it ever a question?
Well, it's been questions lately.
Yeah.
By who?
A lot of people. There's a lot of
A
questions.
lot of people are stupid. Chris.
Radio host.
It's not even a conversation.
Carrington Harrison said the Chiefs should trade.
And I'm thinking
it's not even a conversation.
Walk with me a little bit.
He said,
walk with me.
Nah, my fucking feet hurt. There ain't even no question.
Walk with me. Get some better shoes. Walk with me.
Nah, fuck you. I'm getting an Uber. I'm not walking in this shit.
Well, I don't
Anybody that questions L'Jarius being here, they need to be hit with the goodie of a boogie whip.
Ride with me for a second.
Stupid fuckers. Y'all questioning Sneed.
It's not about a question of Sneed. It's a they looked at that AFC Championship game. They saw him get hurt. And they saw
just finish it. Don't worry about me. Just finish it. Finish it, Chris.
And they saw the young DB step up.
Yeah.
And they like, you know what? These kids are going to be a year better next season. So why don't we get the best thing we can get from L'Jarius Sneed now? I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
But I'm asking why.
Because they believe in they can develop. They have shown an ability to develop young corners in this system.
It doesn't matter.
And I'm just
it doesn't matter.
All right, man. I'm just saying. Don't be surprised.
Why?
It's not even.
Why?
He said,
why let Sneed walk? Why let Sneed go?
Don't be surprised.
I agree.
It's like
give me one reason why.
I just told you they feel like these young corners can step up and be.
And they are the same ones that wanted Leonard Fournette.
Trent McDuffie is going to be better. He's a first round talent. He's going to be better. He could be our number one corner. Jalen Watson can be a good number two. They may feel that Joshua Williams can play in that nickel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you.
Do we?
And do not be surprised if in the second or third round, Veach sees somebody and he drafts him. If he drafts a corner in the early rounds, bye-bye, Sneed.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Sneed.
It's not even just talent-wise for me. It's like we know that these DBs have capability. It's just more so the dollar value. That's the bottom line for me. I mean, Sneed is more than capable. He's proven it to be one of the top in the game as far as today. But it's just the dollar-wise, and, that kind of gives a little more flexibility, as far as with this Chris Jones contract, what that looks like. But, either way, it's just dollar. What I'm sorry, what I said
Williams is not playing free safety. I'll just say that right now.
No.
That's what Cook is for.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's what Cook is for.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Me either. Williams in center field. No, thank you.
You know what, Joe?
I'm good.
You're not getting the Christmas.
I don't understand how it makes sense to let Sneed go. I
agree with you.
That math ain't
Yeah,
math.
I agree. I think he's the leader of that DB room. I think he is a dog. I think
and Joshua Williams didn't play his best ball to the end of the year.
All of them.
It didn't even start to click for him for real until the later part of the year.
All of them. That's whole defense.
Except for McDuffie.
But I mean, primarily in that secondary, like he got cooked by Gabe Davis.
He did.
He got cooked by Diggs. He got cooked by Devontae. You know what I mean? Like getting cooked by those dudes. The consistency that you had was 38.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And pressure allows you to get picks. And in that Bengals game, when he got those picks, he got that pick or whatever the case may be, that pressure was on fire that day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Any team that's dealing with that type of pressure, that's consistently getting home, the secondary is going to look like all pros.
Yeah.
Like you can't have one without the other.
Sneed's
been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make sense to.
Here's the thing about Sneed is Watson can't do what Snead does, so there's no way
Absolutely
Watson is
not.
replacing him. Snead plays all over the field. This is a guy that Spags likes because he can blitz him. He could play him in the slot. He could play him on the outside. I mean,
When they
Snead
go
can do it
and
all.
when they go to that big nickel, Snead don't come off the field either.
He
You know what I'm
never
saying?
comes off the
Snead is
field.
always on the field.
Yeah.
With them young guys, you still rotating them. Like for the longest, Spags couldn't decide between Watson and Williams. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? For the longest, but you knew what you had in Snead every week.
You probably give him a little bit more, Joe.
I give him more money.
But even so, though, it's like, Clarence, you was talking about the point, as far as like who they were getting beat by, as far as with Gabe Davis and Diggs and Devontae Adams, he's just a different beast. It don't matter what part of the season he gonna get hit.
Right.
But these corners, they developed as the season continued. They got better, hands down. But
what you're supposed to see.
But Snead, he was consistent from week one all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And that's all part of mentorship and all that stuff and doing what he's supposed to do. And even, credit to Spags too, who they still don't give credit enough to. He understood where this defense was and having to spoon feed them. And even so with McDuffie getting hurt like in the first part, having to have them make adjustments and then having to throw them in right out the gate, that was no easy fix. But as it went on, they all progressed. So, like I said, unless the dollar value for Snead gets absolutely ridiculous, that would be the only reason. But I don't see that.
But I mean,
I don't see it happening. I don't. Especially
Snead's not in a place where
money.
he's going. Yeah, Snead's not going to want that type of money yet.
No, that's why I'm not even bothered by that.
He can play center field, but
I'm not.
He's
more of a out there.
He's more of a DB. You know what I'm saying? Because when he transitioned from wide receiver straight to corner.
Look at the Minnesota. Look at the Minnesota game, and now I'll prove you why. I would say specifically, I wouldn't be comfortable putting him in that safety position yet. That's probably one of the prime examples of why I wouldn't do it. Look at that Minnesota Viking game, the way, especially toward the end of that first half in particular. I wouldn't put him there yet. He's still got a lot to prove, and he's young.
No, I agree.
I agree too.
Look, I'm all for paying L'Jarius Snead. You give him 3 years, $50 million.
Yeah, you extend him and make it righteous.
Yeah,
because he's not asking for top 5 money.
No,
I mean he can argue for top 5.
He could,
but he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's not there yet. You would be able to tell it if he was on that kind of time, but.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This squad is a squad of we're not in positions where we want to be paid like the tops. The only reason why Reek was on that time was because of Drew. Drew pushed that issue.
Yeah.
If Drew wasn't Tyreek's agent, Reek wasn't going to ask for break the bank kind of money.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
Even so, with Reek, though, really, he should have got paid well before, but that whole situation blew up. But, that kind of opened up the door for Hardman and all those other pieces.
Right. But coming into last offseason with that contract talk shit, like, Reek didn't want to leave Kansas City. He didn't. That was all a play by Drew, saying, your peers vote you in the top 2 to 3. You one of those top guys. You need to be compensated as one of the top guys. You just bought the house in Miami. You just built that house in Miami. Like, we can get this done, and a team will pay you what you worth, kind of shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Even Chris Jones potentially should have won Defensive Player of the Year, dog. Like, and Chris is not out here talking about, y'all need to pay me like I'm 1A or 1B to Aaron Donald. Like, y'all need to pay me like that. Like, Chris just want to be taken care of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of these guys that you have in Kansas City right now.
And the fact that they don't even talk about them enough. That's why, that's part of, I don't even say speculation, just call for what it is. Nobody looks at the Chiefs when it comes to defense, and it's not even the talk. Even though leading up to the Super Bowl, they weren't even the talk. They were talking about what the receivers are going to do and yada, yada, yada. They weren't counting on this Kansas City defense to be who they were. That's why everybody was picking Philadelphia Eagles. Let's just be real. The only people were talking about on defense and, that whole playoffs and everything was just more so was Chris Jones. That was it. They weren't talking about Nick Bolton, who still don't get the credit and still don't get the respect that he should. And he was amongst the leaders in tackles. But, it just comes to show as far as
He set the record.
Exactly. They come to show exactly what other teams are looking at. Yeah, they're going to look at Nick Bosa because he's playing on one of the top defenses in the league. We played them. Actually, I remember it was one of the coldest games of the year. It was a home game. I remember that. Look it up in the middle of the season. Look it up.
Last season? This season that just
this
passed?
past season. Yeah, this past season they played Minnesota. They did.
Who?
The Chiefs.
No, we didn't.
We ain't played Chiefs this year, Mark.
Then who did they get torched? Then which game was it that I'm thinking about? Which game was it
that they got torched?
Because I remember Joshua Williams came in, he had it rough. Like he had a rough ending, and it kind of led to that shit. Who was it then?
Devontae torched his ass.
No, it was. I gotta look it up now. That's gonna bug me.
Was it Seattle? Maybe
Seattle. Yeah, that's it. Seattle. My bad, Joe. It was Seattle. Look at that game. That was the one. My bad.
Yeah,
hey, shut up, man. I ain't talking about Bijan. Talking about he should be the first round pick. No, that's a high statement. I want to hear that. Crap. Get out of here.
He's high and drunk on that statement, but
I'm thinking about Seattle. My bad. Seattle, Minnesota, they got both knocked out the first round. What difference does it make? I knew it was one of them teams that got knocked out. That's all it was. I just remember it was a cold game and I was on the road. My bad. Yeah, it was Seattle, though. But that was the game I would say is like to really look at it as far as Williams not being ready.
Well, DK is a different matchup.
He wasn't matched up on DK in that situation, though. It wasn't.
So
yeah, that's right.
Lockett?
Because Snead was traveling on DK.
Lockett was hurt. He didn't play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wasn't. Yep. Yeah, don't give me that crap.
It was
if it wasn't DK,
I want to say.
If it wasn't DK or Lockett, then that's a huge telling sign that. And this is late in the season. This is a Christmas game, and you 2 games away from the season being over, and you still having difficulties with motherfuckers coming out of breaks and shit. Like,
and it was
that's another telling sign why Snead is not.
Speed guy.
You don't let a Snead go just because of that fact. Now he does have more confidence. Like he was in the space saying, he feels a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Going into year 2, he knows that defense. He's a lot better. But next year you the fucking hunter. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be a huge problem. A huge problem. Come on, Joe. Don't do that.
Why you being? Don't do that, Joe. Don't do that, Joe. With your running back take.
So even with him struggling against the Seahawks, that's why you spend the extra couple of dollars and keep a Snead.
Yep. Yeah. And Snead can travel too.
Because they rotated Jalen and Josh in and out anyway.
Yeah.
Whoever had the hot hand between those two was the one that rode. You know what I'm saying?
You know who started all this Snead talk though? Ooh. It was C-Dot,
an idiot,
host of 810, 610, whatever it is.
Of course,
of course. He said the Chiefs should trade Snead, and I've just seen it blow up since then.
Of course,
that was the first time I seen it.
Of course, it don't surprise me. Under that same propaganda of Leonard Fournette, and fuck next it'll be Bobby Wagner, man. Like, stop, dog. Stop.
Nah, he'll be a Raider. Bobby Wagner.
Then we got people wanting Carson Wentz out here.
Where he go? He just don't need to come to Kansas City.
Look, I just said it as a backup. As a backup. That's all I said was a backup.
Who Carson Wentz?
Yeah, backup.
That would make sense. They bring Carson in and let him play backup. Why not?
But I'm not lobbying for him. I'm not.
I'm
He's a backup.
I'm just saying, can we get a backup that's capable of at least perhaps running?
Hell, you could get Carson Wentz to do that. Okay, and Carson Wentz could do that. Carson Wentz can do that.
He can. You got a point there. He can.
God forbid Mahomes get hurt. You put Wentz in. You ain't got to tailor. You ain't got to cut your playbook.
He can win you 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
because he can throw it down.
He can win 2 or 3 games.
He got an arm.
And there's no pressure. He don't have no pressure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He know once 15 is back, it's 15's job. You know what I'm saying? He could play a lot freer. And then you'll probably see Carson Wentz play like Carson Wentz used to play. You take that pressure off of him. He would be a damn good backup in Kansas City.
It would remind me of when Nick Foles came to KC, and this was before he won the Super Bowl. His career was kind of going down.
But ain't nobody
time,
asking for Wentz to be the guy, Joe.
No,
ain't nobody saying when
I wasn't trying to call out Cris. I
RB1.
forgot Cris even said that. I wasn't trying to call him out. I was trying to call out the Leonard Fournettes, the Bobby
Joe
Wagners.
want Bijan to be RB1. That's the issue. Bijan don't need to be RB1.
He's gonna be RB1 somewhere else.
I felt attacked and triggered.
Why don't we bring in Jacoby? Why don't we bring in Jacoby Brissett? He do the bare minimum.
Or Jacoby Brissett.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta find you gotta no, hell no.
I knew he was gonna say it.
What's the difference between Mariota and Wentz? What's the difference?
Take that forward and wrap it around your neck. No, don't just say no damn Marcus Mariota.
No, I think
What's the difference between Wentz and Mariota? Tell me the difference.
Because you still gonna need passes thrown. And Marcus Mariota can't throw worth of shit. Marcus Mariota can't throw worth of shit.
I would say.
No, if you look at the stats,
go watch the Knicks and Hush time.
No, but even so, I would say like the only thing is like Brissett is like the only quarterback that comes to mind right now if he's available. I mean, I have to look at it because it would make sense because the kind of package that they run and also in them 31s. That was where they struggled the most. 31s. It's crazy how they were like one of the best on third downs, but then 3rd and 1 is like one of those things where you're like, oh god, here we go again.
Because you don't sneak in with Pat.
Yeah, but even so with Brissett, he gives you that dimension where he can sneak, but also he can throw too.
And so can Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz can do the same shit.
Is he going to be cheaper? Is he going to be cheaper as a Brissett though? That's the question. I think Brissett.
Fuck. Carson Wentz can't ask you for a lot of money.
He shouldn't, but hey,
Carson Wentz ain't fixing his mouth to say, "Pay me."
He shouldn't.
Know where he at. He shouldn't. Doghouse with every team.
Take a 1 year, 3-year deal with incentives. That's
it should be 80%.
Sit your ass on this bench, hold this damn clipboard.
You know what I'm saying? And learn something.
And matter of fact, go sit down. Matter of fact, you stay away from Patrick Mahomes because your bad juju might get on him. So
go sit down and learn something because you ain't learned shit all the time you've been in the league.
That's why I don't want him. I don't want him in the locker room, man. Just seeing the way he acted when Heineke took over, when Jalen Hurts took over.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Back then,
give me Carson Wentz thought
he was that dude. You know what I'm saying? He was still fighting to be that dude when all of that shit went down. But the writing's on the wall for him. He know he ain't worth shit, and he know he can't ask for nothing.
Just get him Brissett. Give him a break.
Nothing.
Brissett had to suffer all these years. I feel more bad for him than I do for Wentz.
Brissett has had opportunities. He had a whole year last year in Cleveland.
Yeah, and they turned it up because they had no choice in Cleveland. I mean, they broke the bank.
He still had opportunities.
Yeah, he didn't. Because they ain't gonna believe all that money is sitting on the bench like that.
He was arguably a Pro Bowler.
Over. Oh my God! Don't even bring up the Pro Bowl. I don't even want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it, though. I don't want to hear it. I'm still pissed about that.
Brissett over Tyler Huntley easily, but
that's just my point, though. He had his chance. Yeah, he had the mix, but it's just too much money sitting on the bench. That's the only reason why he never got his spot back in that situation. Come over, wear the red, bring over
all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Carson Wentz being the backup. You get Carson Wentz, maybe Tyler.
I like both of them. Either Jacoby or Carson.
Or Mariota.
I like either one.
Mariota or Wentz.
Choke yourself. Choke yourself. Choke yourself, Tom. And no damn Marcus coming over here.
Speaking of quarterback,
Marcus need to go to XFL.
Yeah, for real. He makes some money though. Speaking of quarterbacks, we got some breaking news today. Derek Carr starts with the Saints.
Good for him.
Oh, they got the deal done?
They got the money on it now.
It's like 4 years. What?
$150 million.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I mean, yeah, that's a good place for him to go.
Now the Saints are the favorite in that division.
Now the Saints, that's
a good place for him.
And her first round exit.
You know what I'm saying? You got Alvin Kamara, you got the young kid Olave, you got Johnson at tight end. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a damn good defense.
Right.
He might be gone, but I mean they still got other running backs there.
25.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Tony Jones.
It's a decent scenario for him. You know what I'm saying? You just don't ask Carr to keep you in football games with his arm. He's just one of those guys that he can't throw you into a football game. He can throw you out of one. For damn sure he can throw you out of one. But
it was the defense that was killing them for the Raiders.
You know what I'm saying? And him having to try to throw them into football games and shit. Like, no. You can't put him in that situation.
Here's my problem with the Saints making this move. So now you're maxed out salary cap wise. I mean, you're way over the cap now, like 20 something million over. What's your ceiling? Are you competing for a Super Bowl? No, you're not competing for a Super Bowl. Are you competing?
Absolutely not.
You're competing for the playoffs because that division is that easy. But after that, what are you winning? Like, are you fine with being a first round exit and being over the salary cap? That's my problem with the move.
Yeah.
Back on the Chiefs backup situation, I wouldn't mind Jameis Winston either. Jameis can come to Kansas City too.
I'm not
mad. Carry on.
That's fair.
I'm not mad.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Me either. I'll take Jameis. Jameis or Mariota. That's fine with me.
I want to see him on, getting these W's, eating the W's on the sideline.
No, he don't need to be doing that.
I can see
the backup.
I can see Andy throwing in some. I can see Andy dialing up some weird trick plays even for him too. That'll probably piss me off. I could see that.
Yeah, on a 4-year, 150 million, but it's obviously not all guaranteed. I think only 100 is guaranteed.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, overpaid for him. Totally overpaid for him. Tell him, Joe. Tell him, Joe. Tell him one more time, Joe. Type the same shit again for him, please, Joe.
Hey, I'm just
Marcus ain't worth
saying Mariota's an option. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Mariota's an option to valet cars.
Damn.
Might be deliver your food, Uber Eats.
Throw me your keys. Kind of shit. But that's all Marcus can do. Damn, Mariota.
Damn, I didn't know he was going to get that.
Marcus ain't shit. He ain't do shit in Atlanta. All he did was run the football. He ain't do shit passing the football in Atlanta.
That's what we need. We
ask
pack
all
and
them
throw
damn
the ball. Pack and throw the ball. We don't need somebody to throw the damn ball.
Ask all them Falcon fans. They were so happy when Marcus Mariota
as he should, really should.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good for him.
That's good.
That's why I said Trevor Lawrence should be on everybody's MVP watch this year.
But that Atlanta roster is trash, Clarence.
Atlanta ain't recovered since they lost
the
Super Bowl.
Alameda Zacchaeus?
Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Cordero Patterson.
And Arthur Smith.
He had some guys that could get the football there. But shit, because he had Marcus out there. You didn't see the way Arthur Smith was looking at Marcus Mariota when he fucked up. He'd just be looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Out of all the places to go with the football, this is where you go. He's looking at him like, oh, you have to be a fucking idiot. Like, Marcus Mariota ain't shit, man. I'm telling you.
He's not.
Nothing.
Like I say, ain't nothing good coming out of Atlanta since that Super Bowl that they pretty much blew. They ain't recovered. They still on life support. That's how bad it is down there. They moved on to the Braves, and there you go.
What are you eating, Joe? What are you eating, Joe?
Stay away from the damn crab legs.
Right.
What are you eating, Joe?
What are
you eating, Joe?
Gonna be in Kansas City stealing burnt ends or something like that.
Stealing a rack of ribs.
yeah, ain't right, man. They James Winston.
He would be solid as a backup.
He would be. I agree with that.
I'll give you that, yeah.
I agree with that.
You're not turning that ball over. You know what I'm saying? Safe throws.
He's not Mariota though. He's not.
Hell no, he leaps and bounds better than Mariota. Leaps and bounds.
They came from the same. They came from the same draft, didn't they?
Yep. I think
1 and 2
went 1. Mariota.
No, Mariota went 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why you trying to turn over a new leaf now. Hell, Joe, you been showing your ass. Might as well keep it rolling.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna turn over a new leaf now. Yeah.
Be consistent, Joe.
Now you want to turn over a new leaf.
But now he's keeping it clean.
Now, the NFL Combine just happened, fellas, and there were some prospects that stood out. There were some prospects after this weekend that you are looking at for the Chiefs. Go ahead,
all right, so oh my God,
Joe.
He should have done that at Florida State because
he did.
That ain't much worth eating out here. But anyway, so top prospects.
Straight swamp ass around here. Go ahead, Ty.
So prospects that I'm keeping my eye on. I know we talked about them throughout the group chat. Receiver wise, Jalen Hyatt, Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, Tank Dell was on that list, but looking at some of his scores, I'm thinking I'm taking him off that list. Quentin Johnston, definitely on that list as a trade-up candidate. Looking at tackles, Darnell Wright, Matthew Bergen out of Syracuse. Like, there's guys everywhere. Defensive ends, Nolan Smith, really impressive. I know you mentioned that earlier. I definitely would like to take a swing on him. Safety-wise, maybe Sidney Brown from Illinois, but the biggest thing that stood out for me for this combine, not involving the Chiefs, was definitely Anthony Richardson. I'm convinced this dude is going to be a superstar in the league given the right situation. I think he is. We've never seen a quarterback this athletic. Looking back at history, Lamar Jackson.
So height aside, what's the difference between him and Malik Willis?
The difference between him and Malik Willis, let's take a look. Malik Willis played at Liberty in college, and his stats were mediocre. Anthony Richardson played in the SEC, and his stats were mediocre, but he played in the SEC. He's far more athletic than Malik Willis, though.
Based on what?
Man, he's better than Malik Willis.
He's way better.
Based on what? Based on what?
He clears Malik
Based
Willis
on
by
what?
a mile.
We're not doing it.
Based on what?
Based on the college tape, the level of competition, his athletics score throughout the combine. He set records in almost everything for a quarter, like vertical, 4th fastest QB 40 times.
So you taking him in the first round?
I'm taking him with the number 1 pick.
Here. Oh my God.
I bet you Carolina gonna move up and go get him, and Frank Wright is gonna get him right.
Oh my God.
Yep.
He will be.
And you're gonna have crow. You're gonna be eating crow.
Okay.
Stop hating.
He clears Malik Willis. Okay. I think.
Okay. So he's accurate on the intermediate throws, right?
That's what Frank Wright comes in at.
And you can get that done within 3 months before the season starts?
No, but you can get it done.
So why are you taking him in the first round then? Because if you take him in the first, then that means he's got to play this year.
For the potential.
So you take him and sit him this year?
Not necessarily.
You let him cut his team.
Pat Mahomes went in the first year. They let him.
We ain't talking about no.
I'm just killing that point though. You can't take that point. That point has to go because they sat Pat.
No,
they could have, but they didn't.
No.
I mean that kills that argument right there.
No, it does not. No, it does not. Carolina does not have anybody. Hold on. Carolina don't.
I didn't like that comparison to Josh Allen. I thought that was stupid.
Alex Smith. They don't even have somebody close enough to be an Alex Smith in Carolina. So if they go and get a quarterback in the first round this year, if they get one in the first round, if they get this kid in the first round this year, you best damn sure believe the city of Carolina is going to want this guy to play.
Was an MVP candidate at one point with Frank Reich.
Yeah, he was. And with the Eagles.
Yeah.
You forgot about that, huh, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe. Remember, he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, and he had Carson Wentz an MVP candidate. You forgot
Till he got hurt. Till he got hurt.
Yeah.
And then your boy came in and snatched it.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
But back to you, Mr. Clarence.
But yeah.
AR-15 is coming.
Get
ready.
I mean, it's hard to gauge because Florida obviously it wasn't the same caliber standard Florida team that there is. But after his combine though, he is going to be.
That's what he's going to be doing, smoking everybody. That's what you right.
Yeah,
you forecasting. He's going to be smoking
everybody.
This is the way you blowing that smoke in the camera. That's what you going to
be
doing.
You three motherfuckers is retarded.
No, he not.
And I shouldn't have said that on goddamn thing. Yeah, okay. But y'all out y'all fucking mind. Okay. Carolina don't have an Alex Smith there.
Okay.
That was the reason why Pat sat.
Okay.
Because Alex was still there.
Okay.
Right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right or wrong.
Did Josh Allen play his first year?
Right. Right or wrong. Was Alex Smith, do they have a capable quarterback in Carolina right now?
They don't need, put the boy out there and let him play.
Exactly. So you're going to throw him out there and he can't make all the throws.
He gonna learn.
He's even came out and said he even came out himself and said he's got a lot of work he needs to do.
But he'll do it. Really
I trust that he will do it.
So you go to Carolina, the city of Carolina is going to want him to play. They drafted the tackle last year.
So let him play.
You got Chuba Hubbard and Foreman back there.
You play to his strengths.
Exactly. It don't matter what he went first. I mean, because
you got a great running, you got a good running game out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a good receiver core.
Sure.
You don't have to make him throw it 40 to 50 times. You let him throw it 25 to 30 times. And you run the damn ball.
So I pose to you again, what's the difference between him and Malik Willis? What's the difference between him and Malik Willis? Malik Willis was doing the same shit at Liberty. Anthony Richardson was. It doesn't matter. He was still doing the same shit. The level of competition. So him running and scrambling to pick up first downs is any different at fucking Liberty than it is at Florida? What's the difference?
When you're playing Georgia, Alabama,
okay, but you still got to make the fucking plays. He's gonna be Malik Willis. He's gonna be Malik Willis in Carolina.
You allowed your.
That's what the fuck he's finna be.
He will not look that low.
Something we can't even compare him to because he's gonna be 1-on-1.
He is not going to look that low.
I'm just saying, even from a coaching point of view and everything, what measurable does Liberty University have to prepare these kids for pro football? When was the last time you heard? I mean, and that's with anything: basketball, football, baseball, tennis. I don't care. What level could you say that Liberty University can prepare this kid for?
And Malik Willis had Ty Downing as his offensive coordinator last year. Precisely. So when you sit up there saying Malik Willis, so when you saying Malik Willis is trash, he had fucking Ty Downing as his OC last year.
He did play like
without an AJ Brown. Without an AJ Brown.
Okay, but that don't have to mean that's gonna be. What's they got to do with Richardson though?
They got DJ.
He's going to Carolina, and Carolina is dog shit too.
He got Frank
Carolina
Wright.
is no better.
They got DJ Moore. What receiver did Malik Willis throw to last year? Treylon Burks was hurt most of the damn season.
It was
right.
What's his name?
Robert Slowfoot Woods. That's who he was throwing to.
Which you're making my fucking point. He's gonna be the same as fucking Malik Willis.
Because DJ Moore is 10 times better than him.
Yeah,
and we already know how you feel about DJ Moore. When I was talking about trade for him, you say,
and they got Laviska Shenault, who hasn't lived up to his full potential yet in the NFL, but there's still a chance that dude has a breakout season. I mean,
and they
go number 2.
Carolina's not taking fucking AR-15.
How much you want to put on?
They're gonna take Will Levis. They taking Will.
Are we seeing a live draft?
You want to talk about? You want to talk about really want to lose? Yeah, take him. Go ahead.
DraftKings, go ahead and book this way so we can see.
Yeah,
gonna
go ahead
take him.
and take him. Yeah, go ahead and
They
take
gonna
him.
take him.
What's the difference between Anthony Richardson and Will Levis?
Will Levis.
Fuck,
Anthony
you tell
Richardson
me.
has way more potential.
You tell me. Because all you see AR-15 do is throw some deep balls and be able to show his athletic ability. That's all you've seen.
Hey man, when you ain't got the
So what have you seen from Will Levis to call him dog shit?
Because he's a bum. Mark,
Based off of what? What makes him a bum?
he's Mitchell
What makes him a bum?
Trubisky.
He played it. He went to Kentucky.
I don't know if I would say he's
played
a
at
bum,
Kentucky.
but I definitely wouldn't draft him.
Didn't he leave from somewhere because he got benched?
Fuck if I know.
Then he transferred because he
Fuck
couldn't
if
win
I
the
know.
starting. He couldn't win the starting job in somewhere else.
Fuck if I know. You tell me.
Bum.
Okay.
I think
right.
Joe's forgetting that Carson Wentz actually was an MVP candidate before he got hurt that year in Philly, but
That was a system thing. That wasn't all on Carson. Carson had a good year. He only had one pick up to that point, but you don't fall off a cliff that bad.
That was on Frank Wright.
You don't fall off a cliff that bad.
Indy, that whole coaching
Josh
carousel
Allen
thing was a mess.
Josh Allen fell off a cliff this last year in the playoffs.
He did. He reverted back,
Got
and
his
that's
OC.
and that
They,
went back.
they don't have a fucking running game in Buffalo.
Not only that, but like I said,
That's
we talked
true.
about the importance of the OC. When they changed the OC,
Yep.
he was not the same quarterback. We said that at the very beginning of the year. And what happened?
But they don't have
exactly
a fucking running game in Buffalo. They tried to pull the trigger and get Cam Akers.
Buffalo been trying to fix that running
the
back
Rams
thing
had
for
to
the
change the
last
heart.
5-6 years.
If they would have got Cam Akers, it would have been a different ballgame. But Sean McVay said no.
Even so, but even so, even if they did have Akers, I don't think it would have mattered because they've had issues. They've had issues in trying to address the running game for the last 5-6 years, and it showed even especially when they had to play the Bengals in that playoff run. It did not look good. It looked non-existent. They were too
because they had fucking whack ass Devin Singletary,
and that wasn't the answer either.
No, he ain't never been the fucking answer. But they got away with it for a couple years because teams couldn't figure out how to stop Diggs and Gabe Davis and Cole Beasley and Dawson Knox. All this shit he had outside on the perimeter. He needed a fucking running game back then.
They couldn't fix it. Buffalo ain't fixed it in the last 5-6 seasons. They came to the light.
And they was trying to grab somebody else at the start of the year. I can't remember. There was another running back they was trying to get.
They was trying to get CMC.
They was trying to get Kareem. They wanted Kareem.
Yep.
And Cleveland wouldn't send Kareem to Buffalo.
Yep.
Oh well.
You lose at the bottom line. But at least the Chiefs they fixed theirs. I mean, they addressed the O-line, and then Pacheco came out and they fixed the running back usage issues, obviously, with the Chiefs. That was the difference. I mean, there was no running game. Who knows?
Probably don't win the Super Bowl.
And it changed the dimension of how Pat threw too as well, because obviously with McKinnon getting those 9 out the backfield, it made a difference.
Yeah.
Getting those touchdowns.
But I don't even want to count Indy though. That whole between an idiot owner that look like you don't know what he's doing.
He's drunk.
And then that whole coaching carousel, that was a mess. I mean, granted, I'm not saying it's easy to find a replacement when all of a sudden your quarterback retires, but then they started going the A's route with Rivers and Wentz, and that was
Rivers was decent for them.
The best quarterback they had besides Andrew Luck.
But you know what? But one thing I learned about Rivers though is that Rivers and company, he never really recovered, even down when they were in San Diego when LT lost. When LT left, that whole thing got lost whole in transit. Like LT was the glue that held that whole thing together. Man, matter of fact, I think they had more success when LT had more success when he went to the Jets. That's how crazy it was. I think they got to the AFC Championship round when he left.
No. Didn't Phillip Rivers beat Buffalo in Buffalo that year though? In the playoffs? Jonathan Taylor got busy that year, right?
He almost did. There was a couple questionable calls, but
it was.
It was a couple questions.
They were right there in that game.
But they were right there in that game. So, yeah.
I thought he was going to come back after that year, but he decided to hang it up.
He got so many kids.
I mean, but he had the coach right there.
He coaching football, though.
He had them right there after that game. I was shocked to see him leave.
Yeah.
They were so close to winning that game. If they win that game, who knows what that road looks like after that?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, next week, next Wednesday on the 15th, free agency start. Tomorrow's the franchise tag. There's a couple of interesting names are going to be brought up, of course. Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones is going to be brought up.
Saquon.
Saquon, you know what I'm saying, his situation. Are the Giants going to get
One
up?
of them getting franchised.
One of them too, yeah.
I think Daniel Jones gets franchise tag because they want to see what they got one more year, possibly put a number one receiver with him, and possibly he could be, a little bit better. Then they can validate, paying him, some type big time money.
And the argument to that would be Dable's system and what he did in that first year.
But one person I want to talk about, he's been brought up. And personally, I think, and we go into every offseason, it's always a big time receiver, defensive lineman, somebody tied to the Kansas City Chiefs. Personally, I think agents use us to run the numbers up on their players to get that trade value up, or teams do this because if you say, DeAndre Hopkins and Patrick Mahomes, teams is gonna mad. Oh, we want that. No, man, we can't have DeAndre Hopkins and Patrick Mahomes together. They for sure going to be Super Bowl favorites, So then they run that trade value up. Now we can get a second, maybe even a third, a second and a third and a seventh, So personally, I don't see it happen. That's not been Veach's MO. He's never went after a big time trade for a receiver, especially an aging receiver. If you're gonna do that, you might as well call Minnesota and see what you can possibly get. For just Jerry, if you're gonna go swing, if you're gonna swing for the fences, swing high. You know what I'm saying? Like DeAndre Hopkins, no disrespect to DeAndre Hopkins, I still think he's a very good player, and I still think if with the right quarterback, of course, he can still put up 1,000 yards. But do you want to invest in an older player?
And I think 30 is like that cutoff for Veach, and he's right there on that 30 mark where now you're gonna have to extend him to.
He's starting to get. He's got injury issues, the steroid situation. When players, and I'm not accusing them of nothing, but when the players start getting off them steroids, that's when the injuries start coming in. They get injured more when they stop using that stuff. So I don't know. He was productive when he came back after suspension. He still had 700 yards and 60 catches or something like that.
Yeah, they force-fed him when he first came back. They force-fed him his first couple of weeks back.
And then Kyler Murray was in and out of the lineup. He was mostly Colt McCoy throwing them the football. So he was still productive. DeAndre Hopkins is not no stranger for having a rotation
of quarterbacks, right?
Did he play with Matt Schaub?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
That was in the down. That was when Matt Schaub was throwing picks every down.
Yeah, that was when Matt Schaub was at the end.
Yeah. So, but he had a rotation. Sage, Rosenfeld, and all these dudes coming in playing quarterback.
Brandon Weeden,
right?
Brock Osweiler.
So he's no stranger to having bad quarterbacks throwing the football. He can still be productive. And of course, with him and Patrick Mahomes, he'll probably put up his big numbers and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I just don't see it happen. And personally, I think teams and agents do this stuff to run up the trade value so they can get the most picks as they get. So they always say, the Chiefs are a top suitor. And then at the end of the day, he goes to the Giants, and you hear from Nate Taylor or somebody saying, they was interested, but, they
wasn't really, yeah.
they ain't really made no phone calls, They just, Veach just walked over to him and was like, what's up with DeAndre? Oh, okay, cool.
It's all for the optics.
That was it. So, yeah, I don't see us getting a DeAndre Hopkins. Now, with the Saints situation, there's reports that, they're trying to work a deal out with Juju. Now, for whatever reason, and I don't see it happen, I think we do get Juju back. But for whatever reason, let's say, his agent is like, hey, such and such wants to pay you more. They're in need for wide receivers in Chicago. Right. They want to pay you 3 years, $45 million. The Chiefs only want to give you 3 years, $30-something million. Let's take this deal with Chicago, and he goes to Chicago. If Michael Thomas gets release, do you sign him to a 1-year deal?
Yes, I think you do.
I'm gonna throw somebody else in this topic.
Go ahead.
So Allen Robinson, his agent, the
his name
Rams
did come
told
up.
him he could seek a trade.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not
Allen
happening.
Robinson was
Matt
on the
Nagy.
radar. Allen Robinson was on that radar last year, though. You know what I mean?
He was.
And even though him and Matt Nagy may have a bad history, that has nothing to do with the Chiefs organization. You know what I mean? Business is about business, and winning is about winning. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Allen Robinson is still there. That's still an option. He's younger.
Yeah, he's 29.
You know what I mean? He basically had a year off last year because prior to Matt Stafford getting hurt, Matt was still force feeding Cooper Kupp any damn way. It wasn't like he was getting a lot of opportunities. So, I mean, Allen Robinson should definitely still be on that list, a possibility.
And you probably could get Allen Robinson for a 5th or a 6th.
Yeah, you can get him for cheap because they're just looking to create money.
Yeah,
at
so
this point,
you could definitely, you don't have to spend as much as you would have to spend with a DeAndre Hopkins. You know, DeAndre. They are at very minimum they want a 2nd-round pick, unless
D-Hop will probably take a break or probably take a little less, but it ain't gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, thank you so much for giving us this discount kind of thing. Like, he's still gonna want some bread, though.
Yeah. Maybe the first year cap,
he's still gonna want to be top 5. You would think at least.
That 2nd year is probably gonna be.
They're gonna have to be looking at trading them that 2nd year, so they might as well.
Or they're gonna have to restructure again or something. So especially if they win the Super Bowl, like, hey man, you take that number down just a little bit, you know. But
and Allen Robinson can do everything Juju can do.
True,
and he can do it a lot better.
He can.
He's a lot better than Juju.
He's
if we got to lose a Juju, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he can run go routes.
Separation last year too.
Yeah, he can still get it. Absolutely.
Stafford just
and the thing you got to think about too, like guys be having these histories of injury issues and things of that nature. Some of that shit just be gaslit just because they don't really want to contribute to a losing team.
Right.
And then they come to Kansas City and they work their ass off to stay healthy.
And he's played on bad teams his whole career.
He's been on bad teams a lot. All of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Jacksonville, he put them numbers up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
Blake
had a couple,
Bortles.
what was it? 1 or 2 years in Chicago, he got over 1,000.
You know
what I'm saying? Imagine him coming to Kansas City.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know, as much as I love Sean McVay, I think he had a little bit of the Super Bowl hangover himself. I don't think he was coaching as hard as he usually is. Like watch him next year. The pedal to the metal is going to be back on. He's going to be coaching up the Rams next year. I just think he was they were celebrating still, man.
I think it has to do with Stafford injury too, because we knew before the season he had that elbow injury, so that probably played a role into that.
The talk is like, as far as them doing a lot of these releases and retooling and stuff like that, that they're looking to really rebuild that offense anyway. So that'll be their point of emphasis.
And also,
draft a guy.
Back to DeAndre Hopkins, teams might say we're not going to spend a 2nd-round pick on him. And the Cardinals might have to release it. They might have to cut bait. And then, maybe you can
that happens.
Can work out a cheaper deal with DeAndre Hopkins. Hey man, come to Kansas City, get you a Super Bowl, my man. Yeah, you take a little less, but hey man, you want that Super Bowl, right? You tweeted that out. You said you want to know what that feels like. Well, you got an opportunity when you play with 15 and you play with Andy Reid. So
in 87. No.
He just got put in crappy situations with them trades.
Yeah. So I don't look out for that too. Like that's an option too, that the Cardinals might just have to cut bait with DeAndre Hopkins. Teams might just be like, like that 2nd-round
and that's what I see happening with D-Hop. You know what I mean? Like it's like you said, he's a lot older. He's older, so teams are not gonna go balls to the wall for him. And you look at it, how many teams really need like a potential number one. Even Detroit has a good situation going at the wide
Detroit
receiver
do.
position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, I think Green Bay is just stubborn to bring in a guy that's that caliber. But for the most part, everybody at least has one of those guys.
Baltimore
You know
needs
what I'm
one.
saying?
Yeah.
Baltimore needs one, absolutely.
New
If they
York.
plan on keeping Lamar,
Yeah,
if they want to keep
Yeah,
Lamar
exactly.
happy.
Yeah.
I don't really run. I thought I keep it. Let's see what I mean, you ideally would like to see that. You know what I'm saying? You would like to see more of that balance, like when they had Kareem here.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
whatever reason, it's like Andy is just overjoyed with Pat and the things that Pat can do.
Passing
So
league.
he doesn't have to. But if you had a consistent running game like we preached all year, you know, just have that sense of identity to run the football and be show a team some ball control. You know what I mean? Like the
We don't
how
even need
much
a
easier would
1,000-yard
it be to
rusher,
score
really.
points? Just think about how much easier it would be for Pat
Even
Right.
to
so,
have that play action pass.
Yeah.
it is,
You know,
it
like-
is, but it's just the way that the game has evolved. You know, just as far as it becoming a passing league. You know, now everybody's
I
throwing
agree
the
with
ball
that.
and launching the ball. You talk about the teams like the Bills and everybody trying to catch up to them, and everybody trying to catch up to help me out Cincy's quarterback. Obviously, I can't think of it. I hate mentioning anything Cincinnati. But, you know, it's just the way that the game has evolved. It's like you're not running the ball not nearly as much. Yes, we like to be able to see the running game, be able to take off in the way that it used to, but I don't think it is. Even with
But
Derrick Henry, it's kind of falling off
But
too.
you're starting to see that shift though. You know, teams are catching up to these offenses. You know what I'm saying? They
And
are
then run
more
first
and more
offenses.
getting these DBs. You know what I'm saying? So a team like Kansas
Right.
City would benefit so much from having that identity in the running game. Even though it's a passing league, like
But
you
even
get into a situation where like you playing a Cincinnati Bengals team again, and you're able to get all of that pressure up front from your defense. Think about the ability to be able to get whatever you wanted on the ground and keep Joe Burrow off the field too. You get a
Yeah, but
sack,
also
you flip
think-
field, you put Pat back on the field, and they can go on a 15-play drive, and it doesn't have to be where Pat's throwing out of those 15 plays, 10 of them.
You're
You know,
right.
but he can throw 7 passes on this drive, and they still look just as dominant, and it's still unstoppable. And you've taken that time off
But
the
we
clock.
can do that with Pacheco. We've seen that in that first drive coming out of the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not
No,
pop.
I
I'm
know
just
what you're
saying them
We need to commit to
creating
it
that
more.
identity. Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
I agree with
It's
that.
like
I
you
think-
said, because it's like you said, Clarence. You know, teams have caught up. You know,
Yep.
when Patrick burst on the scene his first year starting, our offense, we took the league by storm.
Yeah.
It was unstoppable. You know, with the 3-headed monster of Tyreek Hill, 4-headed monster, Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Sammy Watkins, and Travis Kelce. Because that was the talk of this offense. Who you gonna double? Who you gonna cover? Somebody's gonna be open.
Yeah, no
You
matter
can't
what.
cover
Like,
all these guys. Your second corner is not better than Sammy Watkins. You know, you can't go. You know, Kareem Hunt, he breaks tackles. You know, better than anybody in this. He's probably the best in the league at that point.
maybe your
And breaking
linebacker
tackles.
probably can't guard him.
Yeah, and
Didn't Kareem have over 100 yards against the Rams when they had that shootout?
Yep.
Kareem still got over 100 yards rushing.
But
You know what I mean? Like,
a side note,
Damn,
even
Bob
that with
Sutton
Pacheco,
killed
with
that year.
Kareem and everything, Pacheco has actually shown some promise of where he can break out some of those. He's shown it here and there. Even the Cincy game where he was able to break out, we've seen some potential there.
yeah,
The
it just needs to be done more.
Yeah,
it needs to be more of a commitment to it.
Because teams are running. Because teams have learned from us, from our offense. You run that too high shell. These offenses can't just keep throwing the deep pass down the field. You know,
Nope.
And look at these, and look at the what the defenses are getting now. Defenses are going out and they drafting athletic guys that can actually catch the ball in the secondary now. Linebackers that can cover a slot guy or can cover your back or your tight end. Like
these dudes are
defensively,
like 6'2", 6'3". You know, they're wide receiver built.
Yes, and can catch. Look at
6'3",
homeboy from
225.
Seattle. Look at dude from Seattle. He was a late round draft pick, ended up being a starter, and you saw how he was able to close on the football this year. Like I think Pat had Justin Watson wide open on a post route, I think, and Buddy closed that gap so fast.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And this is a DB that was a late round draft pick that can run like the wind. He's like 6'2", 220. You know what I mean? And can cover that much ground that quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like defenses are catching up to these spread offenses, dog. So an identity in that running game is gonna be so crucial.
Yep.
Because
even for Pat Mahomes.
Because you're running in light boxes nowadays. You know, everybody's playing so many DBs on the field that the lanes are open right there, and none of these DBs are going to be able to stop an offensive line like ours. You know, Trey coming around the corner, Tooney coming around the corner, Cris. you know, you've seen it. How many times have we seen Trey last season smashing some safety? You know, blowing him off the line. Because you know there's light boxes, and that's in the they are in the second level now. They're not just in the they're in the second level with the linebackers and stuff. So because they're playing more DBs and they're playing linebackers and defensive linemen, they're rushing three. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. We need this season coming up is going to be interesting.
They need to commit to the run game.
Committing to Pacheco, Pacheco should be better, not only just in the running game, but in the passing game.
Pass catching game. But that just comes to show. I think that's more so of a Kansas City being spoiled in that situation because you start to see how Pat Mahomes is like challenging to make the short throws. That's why McKinnon was able to get off the way he did. As far as some of those receptions at the backfield, nobody accounted for because he wasn't doing that this previous years. And then, and even so with Travis Kelce, let's just be real. We're spoiled by Travis Kelce. Yeah. Because he can make those throws and also his ability to be able to read defenses. That's a huge part of it too. And there's not really many running backs that teams of fear in this league. Let's just be real. Everybody talking about
it's Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara,
Nick Chubb.
Well,
definitely Nick Chubb.
I'll say with Pacheco. I'll say with Kamara, it was kind of a special case because even so with them, they would run those little packages. Even so with Taysom Hill back there, so he had two different things to really look at because then he would sneak out and take off on you, have a little sneak. That's just what he does. But like I said, you only have a handful of running backs that teams fear.
Kenneth Walker's going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker's definitely going to be one of them.
Kenneth Walker was a steal. My goodness.
Breece Hall, if he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
So,
Breece is going to be that dude next year.
Yeah, he is, man. If he's
going to be that dude.
If he recovers, from that leg injury, he'll be good.
And get a quarterback that teams fear. That's the biggest issue for the Jets.
Yes, sir. Whatever that means. Speak English, brother.
He's watching dude run up his lineman's ass like a gerbil. That was a rookie year, Joe. You gotta let him grow. You gotta give him that ability to grow.
Look, man.
I think his vision will be a lot better next year.
He was used to that.
I said that too. He killed me for that, Clarence. I said that too. I guess your vision don't get better heading into your second year.
Well, and in part, like Cris said, he came from Rutgers where he had to make it all on his own. Yeah, he was in a situation that Pat was in because when Pat came in the league, he was coming from Texas Tech where he had to be the man. You know what I mean? And that's why that first year him sitting was so beneficial because Pat came from that type of offense where it was all on him or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, could they have benefited if Clyde would have stayed healthy and would have been productive? Absolutely. Pop would be a lot better because it wouldn't have been a thrust in and we got to have this right now type of thing with Pop. But and Pop really, having to be thrown in there immediately.
Exactly.
Like you saw that running style from college, where he would hit a hole at 90 miles an hour, just to try to break something. You saw that maturity grow though as the year went on. He still did it because of muscle memory, but you saw a little bit more patience. And I think that's what you're gonna see from him next year is growth. A lot of growth. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him come out in the preseason and just have a outstanding preseason where it's like He's evolved. You would I expect the same reaction that people had when they first saw Zeke in Dallas when he ran over Cam Chancellor. I expect to see that from Pop next year.
Pacheco will be 1,000-yard back next year.
Facts.
With a full season.
Easy. He's getting that easy.
He might have 1,200.
You know what? But the thing about it with the rookie secondary,
13 or 14.
Yeah, the thing about with the rookie secondary, like I said, the Super Bowl told it all too. They had to grow as the season went along. That's why, if they didn't have the schedule that they had, they probably wouldn't have been in the situation. I mean, had it been the other way around, who knows what it would have been.
And that's the other thing. That's the reason why you want to sign Orlando back. If you bring Orlando back, you have that confidence that Pop's definitely gonna get 1,200 easy.
Mm-hmm. And that O-line will understand the tendencies of their running backs too. And they started to figure it out. They started to figure out that he had like 600 some odd yards, going into the tail end. He'll surpass that. He'll have 1,000. I wouldn't be surprised he had 10 TDs on that list too. Especially if they fix that 3rd and 1 situation, because there's a lot of goal line situations where they could have done better.
Marcus Mariota could have fixed that, but the 3rd and 1s.
Shut your troll ass up, Ty.
You know what, Ty?
Hey, I'm just saying.
I know. Look,
you on some troll shit, Ty.
Look, Joe. I get it. Bijan Robinson is a special talent. The kid is going to be a baller. Whoever takes him, he's going to be a baller. I'm not even, saying that's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be a baller. That's
not the case, yeah.
Yeah, like he tested great in the combine. Like, he looked good. Like,
but they all test great.
And watching throughout the season, it was fun to watch.
Dude is a baller. I'm not going to sit here.
But this is what I question with Bijan. He's a baller. I question longevity.
You're right, Ross.
Well, if you bringing in Bijan to be an every down back, then yeah. But if he's a change of pace guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's just unfortunate that he's not going to be there where the Chiefs could use him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. If he would fall to the 3rd or 4th, then great. But he's not. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to want to grab him immediately.
And like I said, I'm sorry, Joe. There's just more pressing needs in the 1st round, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it just is, man. Like, defensive lineman, offensive lineman. I know you hate to hear that.
We're looking at a receiver, possibly.
Even a receiver. If one of these guys drop, and then Jackson and Jigba Smith, for one of them guys fall, I'm not opposed to the Chiefs go get them instead of Bijan Robinson. Like, it is what it is, bro.
Bijan, Chris.
I don't give a damn. God damn. I'm sorry that you got an encyclopedia of all these niggas' names.
I just called their name right, Chris. You couldn't even call old Joe Burrows.
Professor.
What about
the motherfucking kicker on your own team is Butner. Come on, brother.
I call him butt kicker. I call him butt kicker. That's what I call him.
I knew where you was going, dog.
LOL,
he said Joe said defensive line is not acceptable.
Why?
They were 2nd in sacks.
But you still want to get younger. You know what I'm saying? You still.
I mean, you gotta. The thing is you got a great situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a damn good situation that they put themselves in, because it gives fans the ability to wish. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at it, there's weaknesses, there's possible holes, but even with that potential hole or weakness, you can still see a repeat. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's not like last year where we knew, okay, it's got to be defense end and defensive back in this first round.
I understand that. I you know what I'm saying? Joe wants somebody that moves the needle. You know what I mean? And it's a great position to be in as a champ. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have those conversations. You know what I mean? And all of us watch the game and we see it differently from different
Right.
perspectives each week.
Right.
And I mean, the way Joe look at it is we need somebody more explosive in the backfield.
Right.
You know what I mean? But practically, we look at it, and Pacheco is that dude that need to be in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? And that change of pace guy, if it's not McKinnon, it's going to have to be somebody. It's just unfortunate that with that first pick in this track record, like Veach is not going to pull the trigger and get a running back when you have Pop, because it's going to fuck with Pop's head. It's going to kill his confidence completely if they take a guy in those first 3 rounds, because you get a running back in those first 3 rounds. It tells Pop, we don't have confidence in you to be our guy. It's going to raise question for him, and you don't want to do that to him.
That's what the Packers
You know what
screwed
I'm
up. When they kept going at the quarterbacks when they needed pieces. That was that situation.
Yeah, I agree. They need to go ahead. Pop should be the number 1 RB1. He should be the starting running back next year.
He will be.
And in the 5th, and if you want to get somebody in the 6th round,
I like
change of speed guy. Maybe
take
Deuce
Bigsby.
Vaughn.
I know Clarence said that earlier.
Yeah,
Deuce Vaughn would be.
Yeah.
Deuce Vaughn is sitting there. He's a good chaser, pace back. He can catch out the backfield. He's a speed guy.
That's Darren Sproles right there.
You get him with Pop, that's a good combination. And this is all, even if Jerry McKinnon comes back, you don't come back on a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, you're going to need somebody to take over for McKinnon.
For that role.
For that role. So you get you a young guy that can just sit, you know what I'm saying, behind McKinnon, soak up the game, and get that experience.
And it's going to be tough, too. Like, the evaluation on running backs, I mean, Greg Lewis is a running backs coach, but his entire career was at wide receiver in the NFL.
And he might be going to Washington.
We lost that evaluation piece by losing EB. Like, that's the other piece to this that we lose by not having EB in the building. You know what I mean? Like,
he's Darren Sproles.
That due diligence and knowing who to start, who to sit, different places to put guys in positions to win, like that fell on EB. And this is going to be one of those things that we're going to see with EB not being in the building. It's not going to be a huge noticeable drop off, but it's going to hurt.
But it's going to be
losing EB is going to hurt.
It is.
It's going to hurt.
That accountability factor, that him making sure guys are focused. Not to say that Andy Reid won't do that, but he was
the finish. Yes,
he was on the second. He was on a different level of getting in their ass, for lack of better, getting in their ass when they slacking off, when they're not focused.
And that's
we remember
why Shady McCoy don't like him.
But whatever on him. But what you remember? The years when was it 2020 when we go 14-2 or 15, whatever. How many stretches of those games where they were sleepwalking because they knew they was clearly the best team on the field, and then ED would get in their ass and they would string off like 3 or 4 touchdowns in a row, just boop boop boop, because they would get focused, and that was basically
that whole postseason. All the comebacks. And it kind of like trickled down to where the players are being held accountable too, because even so, you could talk about Hardman had that kind of moment too, that when he had muffed that punt, return, or I think it was a punt, and then they end up trusting him, giving the ball back, and he got rolling.
Like, and think about everybody in their optics, of that relationship between Pat and EB, like. Pat needs that. You know what I mean? Not to the extent of somebody calling him out his name and things of that nature. He don't need that maybe to get motivated, but it can't be everybody in the building just telling Pat, It can't be everybody saying, let's go with this play. Somebody has to hold Pat accountable and say, this is doing too much. This is, I know you like this pass and this against this defense right now, but we need to run the football. It can't be all you. And that's what EB provided. EB made sure that everybody had their feet on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And we not gonna have that. I mean, Ty just spoke about how Greg Lewis may be out the door. If we lose Greg Lewis too, like who's gonna hold them accountable? They just coming off of their second Super Bowl. Pat's won
That's
the
where you
league
bring
MVP and a Super Bowl MVP
from outside the
but
building.
you then you got a huge problem if you go and grab somebody from off the street to come in there because they're not gonna trust them. The only voice that they're gonna respect is gonna be Andy and Matt. You can't go and grab it like it. This is the domino that people don't see when they talk about, oh, EB didn't matter, EB wasn't this. Like, this is going to be the problem, and this is going to be the challenge next year. How do they rebuild this culture to which that everybody is still grounded and not just we can come out here and we can get dubs just off of our name alone? Like, that's going to be the challenge next year, losing an EB and a Greg Lewis possibly. That's what people don't see, dog.
That's fair.
No, I agree with that 1,000%.
That's a fair take. I mean, just like I said, when you lose an offensive coordinator, I'm not saying it's going to be a landslide like what happened down in Buffalo. I'm not saying that, but it's going to hurt. You might see a leak somewhere.
Yeah. It's going to hurt. It's going to be some adversity
because we're going to run. I think we'll run more RPOs with Matt Nagy. See. I think you're gonna see.
And you saw what that RPO shit got you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that RPO shit is so it's wildcatish. It's wildcatish.
It is wildcatish.
You know what I mean?
And maybe not. Maybe Matt Nagy's evolved. Maybe he understands. Maybe they evolved the system a little bit more, and they like you say, Clarence, they run the football a little bit more this year, and they understand that because one thing was that. Nagy had to do that when he was in Chicago with David Montgomery. They had to run the football. Mitchell Trubisky even used his legs a lot. So Matt Nagy understands running the football. It's not that he doesn't, And we got to remember that last year when Alex Smith was there. He was starting. Remember, Matt Nagy took over play call because the play calling kind of got stale. When that happened. The playbook actually opened up a lot more, and we started collecting a little more wins, and we started looking a lot better. So maybe Matt Nagy brings a different play caller, a different mind to that OC room.
He's gonna have to. It's got to have for as smart as Andy is, and for as brilliant as he has been with Pat. Like somebody's got to be a logical voice in that room, because it's not every week it's going to be Pat is able to throw them out of situations. With each year that passes, teams get smarter, and they know how to scheme that much better to create conflict. And not saying that Pat can't get out of it because of his photographic memory. But teams do. That's why you have free agency and drafts to go out and get guys to be able to play your schemes a lot better. So it's gonna have to be a give and take where, okay, Pat, yeah, this is a 3rd and 7 or not even 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 4. You could probably get this, but they've been coming down and they've been creating this conflict in this situation. So we need to give them something new to look at. You know what I mean? And convincing him that it's not on his arm that can win in that situation, but trusting in Pacheco, trusting in whoever the fuck's back there. You know what I mean?
I would say with Nagy, I'm looking at from a couple of different angles too, is that even when he took over the play call and whatnot, is that this was the best offensive line that the Chiefs have had that I could think of in a long time. And I don't recall Nagy having this kind of O-line in Chicago at all when he was there. So you know, with him, I know his background, he does like to run the balls. Like you might see a little bit more of that, but him being able to trust the line more, and also Pacheco having some time to be able to, you know, after having 1 year under his belt, you know, to be able to see different things, and you know, that's all on coaching and stuff like that. We could see a different dynamic. Then they could be even better. I mean, the ceiling, like I said, we talk about a team. Pat Mahomes' floor is the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows?
And that's why I strongly feel like, you know, winning back to back is very much a possibility for this team, because they won it without a number one and things of that nature, but they're not losing players within that system that they can't recover from. You look at a Bengals team, it's still up in there on a Jeremy Bates. You know what I mean? You got an offensive line that for whatever reason they can't stay healthy. No matter who they get, that's a big name or a consistent player in the league. The offensive line, for whatever reason, it just can't stay healthy. You know, Joe Mixon is getting a year older and he already couldn't pass block. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are huge concerns that maybe the Bengals can't get over those humps and get right. You know what I'm saying? Who knows how Jesse Bates not being there, if he's not there, what that does to that defensive secondary. You know what I'm saying? Mike Hilton will be a year older. You know, Awuzie is coming back from a knee injury. You know what I mean? Even if he plays all year, that recovery process. You know what I'm saying? You look at Buffalo, like, Von's coming back, but Von will be a year older. You know what I mean? And they may lose both Micah Hyde and Poyer from their secondary. They still haven't figured out an answer at running back. You know what I mean? Jacksonville is still young. You know what I mean? These are all things that play to the Chiefs' favor of returning as an AFC representative next year in the Super Bowl. You feel me? Like,
definitely, because like I said, you know, you're starting to get hints as far as with the competition down in the AFC East for Buffalo. It's catching up with them.
It is.
And even
closing that window.
And even with Cincinnati, they didn't have to deal with the Lamar Jackson because, you know, he was hurt and all that stuff in the situation. I mean, they
know it, Mark. They know. The Bengals know it's a dogfight for them to win that North. Like, it came down to the last week this year, and they barely beat them in the playoffs this year. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say that the Bengals don't find themselves in that situation next year and they don't win the North? And if they have to go back and run this back, it's in Baltimore next year. And can they win in Baltimore in the postseason? You know what I mean? Like, all of these things realistically play a huge factor.
Realistically, was turned around by that one play.
That's it. That was it. That one turnover changed the game for them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
that was their break.
That was their break, man. And it just so happened they was more physical when they went to Buffalo the week later.
The Chiefs had to overcome the adversity of Pat Mahomes on a bad ankle.
Yes, though. Yes. The entirety of the playoffs, Pat was on one leg, basically.
Yep.
You know, and that was the only hurdle, thank God, that they had to overcome. I mean, L'Jarius being out against the Bengals, but the pass rush was on fire that day. You know what I mean? And that erased not having Snead. Think about it. I mean, since he probably would have won that game if their front wasn't on fire the way that it was, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at third downs, like Joe Burrow completed that third down conversion to Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? T. Higgins scored a touchdown. You feel me? Like, think about that game if Chris Jones and Frank Clark wasn't impacting that game early and the defense got that fire from them getting that pressure. Like, that's where it started for the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? To start out that first drive and you getting sacks and getting them off the field in a hurry, and Arrowhead just swallows them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if it was on the secondary to have to win that game completely, just solely on the secondary. You know what I mean? With them young guys back there without L'Jarius. It's a problem.
Yeah, it is. Well, like I said, it's gonna be interesting free agency. Some of the moves is gonna get made. You know, not just with the Chiefs, but all teams. See where this Aaron Rodgers situation end up? Is he going to be on Green Bay? Is he going to be on the Jets? Is he going to go somewhere else? Jimmy G, where's he
I
going
think
to
he
go?
need to leave.
I think he needs to leave too. I think
Green Bay
to
needs to
change.
move on from Aaron.
Yeah,
They should.
it's time to see what you got in
It's
love,
time.
man.
Yeah, it's time.
I mean,
You
I
gonna
wanted
let
to
him
see.
sit there?
I wanted to see where their backup was. I thought that was going to be their turning point, but because he looked, Jordan Love, he looked like the first go around when they gave him a chance to get a couple of games, he looked lost. It looked like the moment was too big. But when he stepped in, it's like, as a team, it looked more collected. I think he threw a touchdown too. He had a touchdown on that drive. So I want to see what can this kid do. I think they prolonged that by basically getting the same result anyway.
Yeah, I think that's why Green Bay didn't last year. They wasn't trying to go out and shop for a veteran wide receiver. I think that was why, because they were looking at it like that should be on Aaron. That's Aaron's job to get these guys up to speed. So maybe we don't bring Aaron back and give Jordan Love that option to be the number one guy and let him work with these young kids in the offseason and get that rapport to be on the same page. Like it should be clearly obvious. Green Bay should come out and say, we are done with Aaron Rodgers. We are moving on from Aaron. Aaron can go and seek a trade if he likes, but he is not coming back. If Kyle Shanahan can do that to Jimmy Garoppolo, who has been productive in the Niners offense, then it should be no different for Aaron Rodgers, because it's only a couple of league MVPs that separate them. And you're talking about league MVPs. You're not talking about playoff wins, because last time I checked, Jimmy beat Aaron in Lambeau 2 years ago. So what's the difference?
They just put Ian Rappaport just put it out there. The Chiefs are not tagging Orlando Brown.
So that means what? Does that mean that they're going
to get a
deal done?
You get a deal done, or
he's going to get released.
He's gonna let him walk and let him get the money that he wants to get. Now, that's interesting.
Which
that's
it's fair. If he don't want to stay and try to work something out, then wish him the best, and you got the draft right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I think a deal is getting done. I think that's why they're confident. But like you said, they could just be letting him walk, let him go, let him go see, where he think he can get on the open market, and if it don't work out, he can come back.
Right, because he's always gave me the vibe like he feels like he's the best left tackle in the league, and he wants to be compensated as such. You know what I mean? And that's why you had that holdout last year. You feel me?
That's why, even so, with that whole situation, now Lamar. That's why even with Lamar's situation, it's kind of interesting. They talk about that exclusive versus the non-exclusive. Like, okay, it's like as far as like him trying to find out what his value is, somebody else sees the value with him. As far as I think they said, it feels like if they put him on the non-exclusive tag, then other teams have the opportunity to where they can give that offer, but then it's going to cost them 2 first-rounders versus the exclusive. I think it'll be like a deal like north of 45 or something like that, something crazy. So it's going to be interesting.
And for Lamar, like, I wouldn't, like, Atlanta is trying to risk their entire future on Lamar, which is just stupid. Lamar hasn't been healthy and finished the season the past 2 years. And everybody says, well, he doesn't have weapons. He didn't have weapons. He didn't have weapons. That Giants game, he had an opportunity to throw them back in the game, and he didn't do it. He couldn't do it. Yeah. So that should be telling to the player. You know what I mean? Because you see guys all the time overplay a system and make plays and win them. You know what I mean? That's why you get you one of those guys, because they can outplay that system that they're in and make it look a lot easier than it actually is in a system. And Lamar could have thrown them back into that Giants game, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's part on the play calling, but it's part on Lamar, dog. Like, I don't know if Lamar can throw a team back into a game. We haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be some element of run for Lamar to be successful. And that's a huge problem, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Huge problem.
it's gonna be interesting. I mean, from what I've heard, saw Eric DeCosta went to his Miami home, sat down, tried to sit down
Mm-hmm.
and negotiate,
Mm-hmm.
and they said they're still far apart on the deal. I just think the Ravens are gonna franchise tag him.
And he's not gonna show up.
And he won't show
And
up.
that's sad. And that's gonna be sad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. Lamar hasn't been like they can throw it out there and keep it a buck with him, dog. You ain't been healthy the past 2 years. Now you
And
want top 5 money, and I
who
get,
said,
you know what I'm saying. I get he looking at Deshaun's contract and like I'm better than Deshaun. Okay, even that's debatable.
it
You
is
feel
because
me?
Deshaun at his best, we were considering him the second behind
Thank
Pat.
you,
You
thank you,
know,
thank
when he
you.
was with the Texans and he was
Yes, bro.
balling out before his situation got crazy.
Yes,
Everybody was looking at Deshaun Watson like he was the second
yes.
after Patrick Mahomes, and there were some
That
people
look,
picking.
yeah.
Deshaun Watson over Patrick
Go,
Mahomes.
go back and look at them numbers from that year.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was crazy, bro. Like Deshaun put up damn good numbers.
Yeah, his
You know what I'm
last season
saying?
with the Texans, when he
Yes,
actually played.
yes,
Yeah, he had,
yes.
I think he led the league in passing yards that year.
Led the league in passing yards that year. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
Deshaun, or I'm sorry, Lamar can't ever say that up to this point in his career. I
yeah,
think they best year, I think they were averaging like 200 yards passing per game.
mhm.
201 is they average. And that was his MVP year. So more of that MVP was more about what he could do with his legs than what he could do with his arms.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's at a quarterback. Like you got to be able to throw that ball. Like Mark said, it's a passing league. Like you said, it's a passing league. Lamar's gonna
yeah,
have to go somewhere and prove that he can throw for 300 yards consistently, 2-3 weeks in a row if need be,
yeah,
to win a game. And we ain't seen that from him yet.
yeah. And maybe like I said, like we said before, maybe if you get him a DeAndre Hopkins, maybe
Mm-hmm.
Mike,
Mm-hmm.
if you get him a Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Maybe you think
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, yeah, Allen
Mm-hmm.
Robinson. Maybe Allen Robinson
Mm-hmm.
goes to the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Or just give him a Washington receiving core. That would actually be potentially too because they're younger in this.
Mm-hmm.
They're young, fast.
I
You got running backs to complement that too as well. So you ain't got.
I would love to see what EB could do with
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think actually he could bring the best of Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna hold him accountable first of all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna run the football.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna run that football. And
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna work towards Lamar Jackson's strengths, So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he would definitely work in Washington. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if you're the Ravens, you try to get one more year out of him, franchise tag him, and maybe ship him off
Mm-hmm.
next year
Mm-hmm.
because he's gonna be highly. Because one thing about Lamar Jackson, I don't see. I mean, other than this past season when he kind of I guess he was hurt, but he wasn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Only doctors know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Only Lamar Jackson and the medical staff know that. So, but I don't see him being one of those guys that sit out on the franchise tag. He looks like he's one of them dudes that would just be like, you know what, bump it. I'm gonna go out here, ball out. It's my contract season. I'm gonna apply pressure on the Ravens and make them pay. Come out, be healthy, come out stronger, and have an MVP type season. And remind everybody that I'm a top 5 quarterback in this league. So, because we got to remember, he's far removed from the MVP season, y'all.
Yeah.
Can't keep saying
What's it been 3 or 4 years now?
Can't keep using that.
No.
This is a what have you done for me lately league. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't never lied.
You ain't
never lied.
I'm not wishing this on Patrick Mahomes. He had a great season, but if he goes out there and has a down slope season this year, we're not going to be like, well, he won the MVP in 2020. No, what you do this season? So it is what it is, man. I wish Lamar the best. I hope he gets his money. I do. I really do. I want him.
So
I want him to be better.
But now the question is for the Chiefs, though, if you're not going to franchise tag Brown, where's it going?
Where's that franchise going?
Where's
Juan
the tag
Thornhill?
Maybe Juan.
Juan Thornhill?
You know, maybe Juan.
It might be.
You feel me?
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe
that's what I'm thinking right out the. That's what I'm thinking right out the gate.
But if they tried to franchise Juju, then that means that he's getting what he's supposed to get the top wide receiver money this year.
I don't know. I think
right. That don't like that franchise tag require that.
Yeah. I think so.
Nah, you don't waste that tag on Juju.
No, you don't.
You waste it on Juan. It has to be Juan.
That's what I'm thinking.
It has to be Juan.
No other player makes sense.
Because you'll probably get Juan $10 million on a franchise tag. The safeties ain't get paid crazy money like that.
So you could franchise tag Juan, hope for more of that growth from Cook. And then next year, if Juan, you can either say, hey, Juan, we're going to holler at you down the road. You know what I'm saying? Or, because outside of this year, so the past 2 years, he's been healthy. So, you can't really throw that health issue thing on him no more.
I think this was the first year where the injury wasn't mentally.
Yeah, he was fully healthy. Yeah. Absolutely. He completely rebound.
Like mentally, because the year after you could tell it lingered mentally in his brain. And then even last year it kind of crept up in his confidence.
Yeah.
Starting Sorensen over him kind of messed with his way. It was probably something between him and Spags. That wasn't clicking or whatever. But then when they finally put him in the lineup, it was just like, but them safeties didn't test good this year.
Right.
It was just running 4 6s and 4 7s.
I stopped looking. Got to that point.
No, it was.
If a team is smart though, that kid from K-State, he was running with the DBs, right? Mm-hmm. They need to move him to safety.
Yeah.
He needs to play safety. If a team is smart that grabs him, they need to move his big ass to safety. He would be perfect at safety, dog.
Because the only one that impressed me was what the Brown kid or Branch. Branch was he looks like he's gonna be a first round pick, late first, early second round pick. But other than that, there was some guys that I wanted to see what the Trey Dean kid from Florida looked like. 4'7". I'm like, you can't even play safety in the league right now.
I was hoping maybe he had bricks in his cleats or something like that before.
Them kids, you move them to a linebacker hybrid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
which I don't even know unless, and that's the thing. Like you can't count on a kid to be able to guard a slot wide receiver. So all you will be asking of him is to cover tight ends and backs.
Yeah, the kid from Syracuse did look good. Was it Chase Brown or whatever the name is?
Yeah.
Or Sidney Brown. I think it's Sidney Brown. Whatever. But them safeties didn't look good this year. Jesse Bates about to get paid.
Yes, he is. That's why I don't think he's gonna come back to Cincy. I think Cincy's losing him.
Nah, he's gone.
You know what I'm saying? They've had that run. You know what I mean? He's went to a Super Bowl in Cincy. Like he's maxed out everything he can do in Cincy for them. You know what I mean? It's time to move on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
they got Von Bell and they got that other kid that they drafted last year from I think he's from Michigan. They drafted
Daxton Hill.
Yeah, they got Daxton Hill. So they already drafted his replacements. So
and let's go back to it again. You see how from one year to the next, you see why every season is crucial to try to win now, because Cincinnati's window is slowly closing. They're going to have to figure out a way to open that window back up. And it might fall on the back of them having to let go of a T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Or a Tyler Boyd. Hell, maybe both of them at one point. You're not going to be able to keep all three of them.
No. No, this three-headed monster. Unless Joe Burrow goes out there and says, "Look, I want to keep these pieces around me. I'm willing to take less. I'm gonna give y'all the Tom Brady deal." You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the money. I'm gonna make my endorsements. I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna make my stuff off the field. I want to keep these guys. I want to win. I'm trying to win. Pay T. Higgins. Give him the contract extension. You know what I'm saying? Give Tyler Boyd whatever you want to give him. And then
they have to throw some bread at Jamar.
Jamar ain't taking no discount. He
No,
give me
he
my
gonna
money.
want top 3 money.
And
Absolutely.
by the time next year when he get paid, that price tag might be at $40 million. Because the salary cap gonna go up. So you might be $40 million. You might be talking about a $40, maybe even $50 million a year wide receiver. Right? That's a lot of money, man. I don't know if
That's
you
what
can
I'm
pay,
saying.
I don't know if you can pay him, T. Higgins, and Boyd with that.
Yep. I think in that arms race, you may see like a Josh Allen take a step back, and then you'll see a Trevor Lawrence go forward because he's got Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna see Joe Burrow trying to figure like they're gonna have to try to figure that dynamic out with T and Taj or Tyler. With Jamar, and you're gonna start to see that regression in them trying to figure that out. Like this dynamic. This is why I say the Chiefs are in a really good spot moving forward.
I agree with you, Joe. Yeah, we definitely. I want us to get some playmakers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We definitely need to add some playmakers. Yeah, we do need to add some more playmakers to the side. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all. I'm all for in the top 100 get one of these receivers. One of these, we better break away with one of these playmaking wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm all for us getting playmakers. Even when these tight ends out here, it's deep.
Because Travis not gonna be there too much longer. I'd say maybe another 2 years, maybe.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Next dude.
Yes, dog. And you look at their practice squad. Like they got a couple of good reasons to hold on to some guys in the practice squad. You talking about Powell, Marcus Kemp. I think Marcus Kemp left to go to the Giants, right?
Washington.
Okay, he went to Washington. Okay, so you lost Kemp, but you got Justin Ross. You still don't know what you got in Justin Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a couple guys there in the practice squad that could maybe step up next year and show you something.
I'm not gonna put too much stock in John Ross, but if any coaching staff can get the best out of John Ross,
absolutely,
because the kid is fast. We know that.
Yeah.
He ran the fastest time ever in the combine, right? So
I believe so. Yeah.
The kid, at worst, if he could be the punt return, hey man, that's a win. That is a win. I don't need him to go out there and catch passes from Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But if he can if he can catch the football,
Yes,
and get us good field position, hey man, I'm all for that. If John Ross can be our punt returner next year, I'm good with that right there. You know what I'm saying? So if you get the best, if you get that out of him, good job, Beach. Good job, Beach. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Justin.
I do agree with this.
I do too.
I do agree with that.
I do too. Darnell Washington, bro.
Man, look. He let him learn from Travis? Whew. Lord have mercy.
I think he's a fast, athletic Gronk. That's what I think he is. He is a fast, athletic Gronk. He was 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", but he's an athlete. Did you see that catch that he caught with that one hand? Yeah, that dude is going to.
That boy, yes, though. And Zay is a pro already.
Oh man,
I like Zay.
I keep telling people, man. I'm not trying to put this on this young man, but I see AB type playmaking ability that kid, man.
I do too.
When I was watching this tape, man, I was like, man, I see AB, bro. Like, because he was catching fade routes in the end zone. Like, it wasn't just, go routes and all that stuff. Like, he was catching fade routes in the end zone. He was, it's start and stop. It's nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the first receiver taking off.
Yeah. And that's why I think the Chiefs will probably be more in the market for a wide receiver or, like a Darnell, because they're going to be learning the system from Pat to know where he wants them. That's the biggest part, is coming into this league and learning where this quarterback specifically wants you. You know what I mean? Like, that's huge. Like, I thought Powell was going to be able to catch it, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's his size or whatever, but for whatever reason, they just don't like him like that. You know what I mean? But
we're not at the practices.
Right. So if you can get this kid from Georgia in that spot and let him learn from Trav and from Pat, like, the kid is 6'7", 6'8", and can leap dudes that are standing straight up. Like, he's unreal. He's unreal. Like, go back and watch that Missouri game. The Missouri game was, whew.
Yeah.
He put on a show against Missouri.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? Whew.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, I'm all for that, dog.
Yeah. Darnell, and there's some other tight ends. I like Kincaid too. I like the Kincaid pick.
Yeah, Kincaid is nice.
I like Kincaid.
Yes.
There's some other guys in this. There's some other guys. This is a deep
Myers.
Mike Myers. This is a deep tight end.
Yes,
you can get you a dude in the second or the third round this year, and this dude could be the heir apparent to Travis. You will not be mad at whatever tight end they take in those rounds.
Because you gotta start preparing for Travis to leave.
Yeah, because he's not going to.
You got to.
And you even see it now, because when he catches a pass, he goes to the sideline because he got to catch a breathe. Because he's getting older, man. He can't. them legs ain't what they used to be, man. So you see,
body ain't recovering. Yeah.
So you definitely need some young guys, and of course you want to see, the ascension of Noah Gray. I think Noah Gray has potential there. You see it, with Noah Gray. He's come up with big catches with Noah.
I just don't think I don't know. He may have that capability to have a higher workload. You know what I'm saying? It's still questionable.
Yeah.
If he can handle that full workload like Travis handles. Or maybe they don't. Or maybe when Travis steps away, they go completely back to, let's just get us a guy that's, consistent at tight end, but we gonna make the focal point once Travis steps away back to your wide receiver, area. I don't know.
Well,
this year could tell the scale though.
Well, with Travis Kelce, because there's really no replacing Travis. Like, let's just call it the way Travis Kelce. He's used more so. Like, no tight end is getting split out wide like Travis Kelce. Coming in, coming out. Like, so your best bet to replace a Travis Kelce is to get a good X receiver that can do a lot of the stuff that Travis Kelce can do. So if we can get a good X receiver in this draft, maybe it's just Ross. We never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I know people kill us every time we bring up that name because he's the boogeyman.
Right.
On this team, but I'm sorry. People were talking about they weren't impressed with him, but I'm like, dude, he had a foot fracture and he was coming off of a surgery on his back, and he still was out there dogging people. He was still out there catching passes over guys. He was probably at 65%.
Yes, bro.
Like, come on, and you give him a year with this training staff?
Yes, dog. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Get him right. Yes. He learned. He's probably his head is in the playbook. So he's going to come in knowing the system. You know what I'm saying? He just got to go out there and play in it. And it's going to be how much, Andy Reid and them trust him with this playbook. But if he can go out there, I'm not asking Justin Ross to be a 1,000-yard receiver. But if he can give us 500 yards and a couple touchdowns, that's a success.
And they trusted him enough, knowing the injury history, to still say, you're not leaving Kansas City.
We'll give you a 3-year deal. That's telling to me. They could have gave him a 1-year deal and said, hey, we'll see we'll throw it in there. We'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
You give him a 3-year deal, that means Brett Vease and them saw something in these practices and was like, let's just
we
go
can't let him go. Yeah.
Let's let him heal that foot because they didn't heal right. Go ahead and get him with the right medical staff. Let's pay for it. Give him a year off. Let's bring him back next year, ready to go. That's just telling to me. I'm sorry.
And I really think, you know, the direction that they decide to go, be it this tight end or any other tight end within those first 2 rounds, or a wide receiver, is really telling you which direction they're trying to take this offense in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got Pop, you know what I'm saying, and you go and you get you a complimentary back. There's no rush on it because there's still the possibility of McKinnon still coming back for next year. So you got that taken care of. But if they decide to go Zay Flowers or Washington or any other variation between those first 2 rounds, that's pretty telling on how they're trying to project this future to be after Travis. You know, I think now is going to be that time where they're trying to figure out life after Trav.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They have to.
Because they're going to cut bait with Trav before he's done. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. And that's going to be up to Trav to say, I'm done with football altogether.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a third Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's – and then with his success with the SNL, you know Hollywood's going to be coming knocking down his door.
Yes, dog.
You know, he was a natural on that. And we all know he was going to be a natural. He's made for Hollywood. You know, I can see him in one of them Seth Rogen movies or something like that. You know,
he's funny as hell, dog.
Yeah, I can see him in one of them movies like that. So I think even if we don't win the Super Bowl, I could see him being like, you know what, I had a pretty damn good career. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 Super Bowls. I'm definitely a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame, first ballot. So
broke some records.
Yeah,
going down as the greatest tight end to play the game. Like
I'm gonna go ahead.
He's got a hell of a career, man. He got a hell of a resume.
I'm gonna go ahead and go to Hollywood, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. His body is still relatively healthy. He doesn't have any long-term nagging injuries. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's gonna get out before that happens. Like, he's not gonna go through another knee injury like he had. What was that? The first year he was in the league. Was that his first year? Yeah. Because that one was a bitch for him to come back from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, he not gonna do it again.
No, he's not. So. Well, all right, fellas, man, it was a good conversation today, man. We covered a lot. And if you guys are just now watching, I made the announcement that we are officially under the Pigskin Podcast Network. We signed a one-year contract with them. Shout out to Kyle for reaching out to us, bringing us into the family. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the new sponsorship with DraftKings. Like I said, we're still making our transition over there, so it's gonna be a minute when we like officially underneath their umbrella. But like I said, we did sign with them, and shout out to Kyle, like I said, for giving us this opportunity to expand our horizons. You know what I'm saying? So
nothing change. We still gonna be rocking how we rock.
Yeah, man. Nothing's gonna change. You're just gonna see some logos down here, and
logos.
We're gonna have to do some commercial. We gotta do a commercial for DraftKings. That's it, But other than that, we're gonna be still the same old Arrowhead Chief podcast, So continue to rock with us, y'all. And like I said, we appreciate y'all because we couldn't.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, especially Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
You're our running back one, Joe.
You feel me? Joe, one of them real ones, dog. For real.
You're our running back one, Joe.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna give you the rock on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2.
He the only dude that can drink a 5th of Jack and still be swerving on the grass. You feel
me? Is he still in it?
Yeah, Joe's still here.
But yeah, man. Definitely excited for this opportunity, and can't wait to see where this brings us, in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Go ahead and land this thing. Give a shout out to every, we still rocking with every morning quarterback. So we still got to give them a shout out. If you look down at the bottom, look at the link, emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you go there, you'll get the locker room access of all the podcasts that are on the Every Morning Quarterback umbrella. They got a Patriots, a Jets, 49ers, a Chargers podcast, and they got ours, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. If you check us out, click on the banner. You'll see all our episodes from the recent ones to the past ones. Go ahead and look them up, and also check out their podcast on YouTube. What do you say? Oh, we ain't Hollywood.
Hollywood.
We ain't got there yet, Joe. No, but yeah. But if you go to them, check out their podcast. They talk about everything league wide, and they also give you betting tips for the week. So when the season starts, check them out, man. And whatever streaming platform that you listen to your podcast on, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google, Stitcher, Breaker, any of those, Arrowhead Chief Podcast is on there. Look us up, follow us, subscribe, download the episodes, check us out, and we'll definitely be on there. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on all social media platforms, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Follow us at AH Chief Podcast, and we will follow you back because, Clarence, what's our motto?
We ain't Hollywood, but we might be Hollywood.
Yeah, most definitely.
We might be a little Hollywood.
Ghetto fabulous.
We're not gonna break in your house, but we might. I'm just playing.
Stupid.
Yeah, so, but, go ahead and follow us. We'll follow you back. We want to hear from you guys, man. Give us feedback, man. You got some questions y'all want us to talk about, you want to ask and you want us to answer. You want us to bring up some content. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to give y'all the best Chief content that we can bring to you guys. So hit us up. Just remember, talk to us nice and normal. You know what I'm saying?
Nice and normal.
Don't come at us
Bengals
wrong.
fans.
And don't come at us with no dumbass questions either, because
Bengals fans.
We don't answer dumb questions over here. Okay.
Bengals fans.
So don't ask us nothing.
Yeah.
So that's it for today, y'all. All right, Chiefs Kingdom. All right,
hey, y'all make sure y'all watch that Monday Night Raw tonight. You already know, dog. Gotta watch that Raw tonight.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all.
Yes, sir.
All right.